Hello, folks. Welcome to Nateland. As always, I'm here with Brian. Well, not always. We had one that we weren't, but
Almost always.
almost always. Basically every time. Trying to be less and less, but slowly
I keep coming back.
he keeps showing up, and we're like, oh man. I thought, all right,
You changed the record day
Yeah.
on me, and I still.
still showed up.
Yeah.
He just was in our driveway last night, slept in his car. Brian Bates, Aaron Weber, and we have a wonderful guest with us, Mike Vecchione.
Thank you for having me to Nateland.
You're welcome.
It's
Welcome
fantastic
to Nateland.
here. Thank you.
It's amusement park. Scribd. With Scribd, you get instant access to millions of ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, and more. Automated suggestions and hand-curated picks make choosing your next book easier than ever. And we have got a deal. Go to try.scribd.com/Nate for your 60-day free trial. That is try.scribd.com/Nate to get 60 years. You get all that for the rest of your life.
Wow.
To get 60 days of Scribd for free, which then will turn into 60 years. Also, shout out to our sponsor from the makers of Helix, the most comfortable mattress ever, comes Allform. Easily customizable sofas, armchairs, love seats, and more. Allform delivers directly to your home with fast, free shipping. You can assemble all the furniture yourself in minutes. No tools needed. Right now, Allform is offering 20% off all orders for our listeners at allform.com/Nate. That's 20% off all orders at allform.com/Nate. Lastly, fall is here, and it is time to get cozy around the fire with Solo Stove. Shop their fall event now at solostove.com. Get an extra $10 off when you use promo code Nate at checkout. They even offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. Remember, go to solostove.com. Use promo code Nate at checkout. Me and Mike started comedy in New York together forever ago.
Right.
We've been great friends for 15 years, something like that, Lost touch for a little bit because he lost his hearing for 2 of those years. And I was trying to get someone older than Brian. Couldn't do it, but I'm close. I'm trying to throw Brian a bone. And it goes.
We started in New York together, good times, a lot of years. And then you moved to LA, and then we remained close. I came out and stayed with you in Carson for a couple when I was in LA a little bit.
I walked in on him meditating once.
Yeah.
I said, don't do that in this room.
Yeah. He said, don't do it. It's not loud in this house.
Yeah.
This is a God-fearing house. What you're doing is some kind of voodoo, and we don't appreciate it.
Go,
It's
Mike,
affecting my wife.
Outside, Mike. Outside.
Yeah. And then remember when I was trying to park and I had to I had to back out and do it again. You go, does it ever just work out? Does it ever just work out? I'm like, Nate, I want to equidistantly park, but does it ever just work out?
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's not easy to be Nate's friend.
Yeah.
All these years. I mean,
it's a lot of jokes.
Right.
You said this weekend, you told me you can't ever just leave. I always say one thing, like right before you leave.
That's it.
But it's showmanship. Mm-hmm. Showmanship is you always make a joke, and I do it if it's just one-on-one or if it's a room full of people.
Mm-hmm. You always got to have a strong closer.
Always got. You can't get out.
That guy closes strong. It's just me here, but he closes strong.
Yeah.
I
think about close. Look, I have a whole theory about it that I think you will make everybody's day even if you're talking to an employee that you don't know it. Bed Bath and Body Works. For some reason, I'm thinking that. Is that one?
It's a combination.
It's Bed Bath & Beyond and then Bath & Body Works.
Well, if you're at Bed Bath & Body Works, it's a new store that just got started. And there's and you're asking for something, and then you just make a little joke. Like me and Graham K, we were on the road this weekend. We had to go to we had to go to Apple. So we go in there and Graham's asking this person all these questions. And right when I left, I was like, hey, I'm sorry about him asking that. She was like, oh, it's okay. I go, no, I'm going to talk to him about it. And she laughed. And that was it. She walked away. And then the next person she talked to, she was like in a good mood for a second. Yeah. It's like if you do that and send it, then maybe that guy does it.
But what happens when they don't get it and they go, It's the opposite. They go,
Hey,
this weirdo. Can you
it's a
please take him
big-
off my hands? I'm gonna go to lunch.
Yeah, it's a big matzo ball hanging out there. If it doesn't work out, and it doesn't sometimes. Sometimes you do it, and the people are like, "What?" And you're like, "All right, I gave it a go, but I tried."
He did try.
You know, and their day's more than those people. Their day they spiral out and they yell. I just watch them yell at everybody the rest of the day. So it can go two ways.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a 50-50 shot.
So we're gonna start reading you guys' comments as always. You as Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast reviews, and you can always email Nateland at natebargatze.com. Ben Crichton.
Probably Crichton because we're in the South.
Yeah, Crichton. He might not be in the South.
Yeah.
Where'd you say he was from? Where's his family from?
Probably from England.
I think you said stupid England.
Stupid England.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were to say that
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah, it is a clean podcast,
Yeah.
but we do call people idiots and
Yeah.
stupid. I'm the nicest man in stand-up. And then,
You just turn on your fans
yeah.
in Nateland. You feel safe in Nateland?
I
Turn on
didn't,
them?
look, I think
They
Ben's,
want it.
Ben Crichton.
Ben's a great guy.
First of all, I think it's Ben Crichton. You want to bet me on this?
Crichton?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one knows about your vicious
I'll
gambling
bring
problem.
him in here.
Bren,
Yeah.
I would bet, I would AC-doocy bet Crichton is his name. Not Crichton, not Crichton.
Yeah.
Crichton. Ben Crichton.
Crichton. I like Crichton.
Yeah.
That would
You
be
do.
like, I feel like you would go, no one would say Crichton.
Yeah.
And if you said, if he goes, it's Crichton, and
Yeah.
Ben goes, no, it's Crichton. And you're like, that
Yeah.
makes sense. And you just mess that guy's life up.
Right.
Because he's like, all right.
That's like your name. Your name is spelled wrong. You know what I mean?
Bargatze?
Yeah.
I think we say it wrong. We say it with an accent.
Does your
Bargatze.
whole extended family say it that way
yeah.
too?
Nobody
Yeah.
says Bargatze.
How do you
I-
think it should be spelled?
With an E instead of an A, right?
Yeah, we just say E,
Bargatze.
Yeah.
but we say it with an E. And then I think Bargatze, like Fallon would always say Nate Bargatze.
Yeah.
Everybody said Nate Bargatze. And that's, I think, how it should be
It's
said.
almost like if you say it correct, people will think that I'm getting it wrong now.
Yeah.
If I say
if someone says Bargatze, I don't even,
your
Well, I
voice
think if
doesn't
people are
change.
famous enough, they could just say it however they want.
yeah.
Right? Isn't
Yeah.
that how we do it?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to.
So, Ben, we're better than you. So we'll just say it however you.
Yeah.
Can I talk to him that way?
Yeah.
Listen, Ben, we're going to say your name however we want.
Ooh. Yeah. That's, look, he gets it.
Does Ben get it?
Yeah.
You're in
Yeah.
Nateland now.
You're in Nateland, Ben. Welcome to the land of Nate.
I'm a security guard in Nateland. And you will do as you're told, Ben Crichton.
Yeah. You do look like our security guard.
Yeah, I'm a security.
Yeah. Our
Security.
comment. You're our.
Or you know what? I would like to go. I would like to be the traffic guy on
Yeah.
Nateland. And Ben, you got a pretty crazy name. Let's go to traffic.
Yeah.
And I want to be that guy. We got a lot of on what's the road out there?
60
Split Log.
Yeah.
Split Log Road.
Yeah.
There was almost an accident last night on Split Log.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You drove Laura's car
Yes.
to Zany's.
Yes.
And then Mike's sense of direction is garbage.
Horrific.
Garbage.
If you're not in New York with the grid system.
No.
I need a grid.
It's
Yeah.
not even, New York doesn't matter.
Yes.
We went on the road and he was driving and we pulled back in Manhattan and we might have pulled into La La Land because he looked like he's never seen. We went through the Lincoln Tunnel and he comes out of it. Not the Lincoln. What's the one farthest down?
Holland.
Holland Tunnel.
Yeah.
Went
Well,
through
I could remember the names of the
Yeah.
of
So
the landmarks.
we lived because you live in the Holland Tunnel. Is that all right? So we come through the Holland Tunnel. We make it out, and I remember Vecchione was like, he goes, "All right, where are we?" And I'm like, "I mean, we're in New York now, dude." Like, and he's like, "I know, but where's?" I mean, he would have drove to the Statue of Liberty from there. Like he just, and we're living in Queens. Like
That
we
is
have to
true.
go the other way.
That is true.
He just had no concept. Of,
I have no concept, but what does help me in New York, and Aaron had it right, is and I just met him 5 minutes ago, knows me better than you. The grid system really does help with the avenues and the streets. Once we get the Holland is still in that where it's street names I don't understand.
yeah,
You know, I really have a poor sense of direction. I think it's because of math. My math skills were always really poor. And people are like, "Oh, math doesn't matter." I'm like, it matters a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Problem solving wise.
yeah, that's true.
So
All right.
let that be a lesson to you, Ben.
Yeah, all right. Let Mike get off his high horse and he's gonna come on back down. He goes, Ben Crichton, if you were to tell me a year ago a new podcast is coming out, one host has gout, Aaron has gout, One host has dyslexia. I have dyslexia. And the other is geriatric.
Geriatric.
Right? What is it?
Geriatric.
Oh, geriatric. Atric.
Yeah.
Geriatric.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't believe that it was my favorite podcast. Thanks, and keep it going, guys.
I think, and what Ben is trying to say is your flaws are what make you guys a powerhouse of a podcast.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I think so too.
Because people don't want to feel like you're on your, like you said, high horse. They're like, oh, these guys have flaws. I have a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't, but
I don't personally. I'm a guest on this
Yeah.
podcast. I'm not on it.
we like to bring in just excellence.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're sitting next to, I won't let your foot touch Aaron's foot because he has gout. I don't know how it switches over, but I mean, no one's really looked into it that much. Just I don't know which one it is, but it's the wider.
It's my left one.
It's the wider shoe. It's one that's got, it's two different shoe sizes. He's got to throw two shoes away. He orders two pair, and he throws the two middle ones away. One's a wide 15. I don't know what wide is. Tim Eigenfeld.
Yeah.
I'm an 8th grade teacher in Wisconsin. I started listening to the podcast over the summer, and now every day to and from work. Whether you're talking about something as riveting as ocean size or who the smallest president was, each episode is like stepping into a middle school classroom. That's what we are, is that we are a middle school. Every comment is more random and humorous than the last. Thanks, Nate, Aaron, and Blackboard for the lighthearted banter and for preparing me for another year of teaching.
Wow.
Well, that's awesome, Tim.
Yeah, Godspeed.
Yeah. So everybody calls him a different B name.
Oh, really?
Some people call me Ben Crichton.
Yeah. Christian.
Christian?
Yeah, Christian.
Christian.
Coyle. This podcast has made me realize how little I know about most things. I found myself getting frustrated during the Olympics episode because you all kept getting stuff wrong. Then I realized that I have not had that feeling throughout most of the other episodes. It really is just fun to be along for the ride while y'all talk about things that you and apparently I know nothing about. That's what I like. You go, that's not right. And then you're like, no. It turns out none of us are right. You go, we bring you down too.
Yeah, but the charm of it is you're so confident that you are right. I don't know about that you personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so confident you are right. And then afterwards, it's kind of a charm like,
Yeah.
let's just move
Yeah,
on
what
to
are
the
you
next.
gonna
Let's
do?
go have some breakfast.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Micah Brockheimer. These are some names today. Broik Emir Micah. How would you say it?
Micah Brookmeyer.
That's a lot.
That's what I'd say.
But it's BROE.
I think you just got to
Brookmeyer.
ignore some of those letters.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That's
So
how
there's
I-
Apparently, you're not
Yeah.
fluent in German, Nate, because it's
Yeah.
Brookmeyer.
Is he?
Is it Brookmeyer?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it stupid German or is it?
This is high level.
Oh, high level.
Yeah,
You respect Germany. That makes sense.
I do respect Germany.
Should we start calling Brian's fans the Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
I actually love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should do
Pretty
that.
good.
I know.
Is there a podcast, The Breakfast?
Yeah. with Charlemagne. You don't listen to
Yeah.
the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God?
Yeah.
I haven't caught up. It's in my
Power
my
99.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the people that are Brian fans should be a part of the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And y'all could probably meet, table for 4, and eat. Saying it's a small group.
What's behind that?
BOGO.
Why do they call
BOGO.
it?
It's BOGO. Buy
Or
one, get
somebody-
one. They either call it the Breakfast Club or BOGO. We're BOGO fans.
Breakfast is one of the more popular names for me.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
call you breakfast?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the significance of it?
I mean, everybody knows on this podcast, so maybe we're
Well,
just
could you
explaining it to
guys
you
kind of
after.
fill me in? Can you explain it? This is a long form.
The first 2 letters of breakfast are the first 2 letters of Brian.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, is there some? He gets
No,
up
that's-
early. he
Somebody
eats
just called me breakfast,
that's-
and
someone just
Yeah.
calls you breakfast.
Nate loved it.
That's really
Yeah.
as deep as it gets. Is
Yeah.
what I just said.
And then we've all just made up different names.
Right.
And
They just
then
call him breakfast.
They call him, they called him Blackboard too.
right.
They just call him a different name.
A different.
A different
B.
B name. Blackboard's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Blackboard. Blackboard's a funny word. Matt Gable. Our house was damaged by a storm in early May, so we're currently living in a hotel. There's a cricket living in the air conditioning unit in our hotel room. It chirps all night and drives my wife crazy. I've convinced her that I can't hear it and have no clue what she's talking about. To be honest, the cricket is driving me nuts too. How long do I let this play out before trying to get rid of the cricket? I mean, I think you let her listen to this, and then you get rid of the cricket.
Yeah.
I say you keep going until you get a divorce. You get actually
Two
plays
ways.
out in court.
Yeah. There was a cricket. I never heard it. Just in there's a court. I mean, that would be on the news. People would talk about that story.
Oh yeah.
If going, where was it? And then he has a little cricket noise during the. He have a little. My dad used to have a box. You turn the lights off, and a cricket would always go off. And like so, it was like light motion, and it was so. Or you can make. He had another one that you would hide somewhere when the lights go off. It would be a drip. And he did it to my grandmother, my mom's mom, and he had to go in there and they had to stop it because she was in there with like a wrench and was going to fix it.
She was looking for
She was looking for it, and my mom and dad had to go in there and go, it's not that. She was very funny, but she was like very innocent, just like, well, I guess I gotta fix this drip. And I think it was her and her sister, so they're both probably in their 70s at this point. And then, like my grandmother's sister, and they were both in there like, well, they figured out when the light goes off, it still does it. Why? Like,
And if you turn the light back on, it would stop?
it would stop.
That's so funny.
It's I'll see if I can find out what it is and I'll let you know, because it's a very fun thing to buy someone.
Yeah.
But that's what Matt should do in court is have that.
Yeah.
And then just like put it under the table and it goes lights and the judge is like, but I hear a cricket. He goes,
Right.
y'all are all crazy. And then
Yeah.
and then everybody goes, well, I think Matt's crazy because he doesn't hear crickets and he doesn't hear on that high frequency. He's like the opposite of a dog. He's like an elephant that only hears big loud noises. I don't know what an elephant hears, but
Have we ever talked about, when I was in middle school, everyone had ringtones on their phone
mhm.
that was such a high pitch that the teacher couldn't hear it.
Mm. That's back when I taught middle school, by the way, probably what you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about where kids had that on their phones?
I was just in the early, I taught in the early 2000s when cell phones first came out.
Yeah.
Now it's probably, I think what teachers do, you have to put the cell phone in a bag
Yeah.
when you come into class.
Yeah.
You can't have it on you.
Yeah. They did what's the high pitch that the teacher couldn't
Because
hear?
the teacher's older?
With teachers older, they can't hear. So we would all have ringtones and our phones would be making noises that we could all hear as a kid, but the teacher couldn't hear it because it was such a high
Yeah.
pitch.
I think your teacher just let it happen. Because I don't believe that
I
don't believe there's a high pitch.
There is, though.
There's not. There's no way. I mean, is your teacher 90? Or is he like 40?
Teacher's probably in the early 30s.
No, there's
Even-
no way.
Even
dude.
that age difference, you would
Yeah.
not be able to hear it.
I think you absolutely can.
You're doing it to me right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
No,
Make a point.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Y'all hear it.
What was the frequency called? TikTok?
Brian's never known. Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
That's a good joke.
Let's go to traffic.
Brian, yeah. You want to go ahead? Split Log Road. Yeah. Give my home address out, Mike. They did, we played the theme song during the whole episode.
What?
Yeah, in the back. What if we were doing that? He never heard it. Hey, you don't hear that right now? I don't think there's
There's frequencies that
can
younger
hear.
people can't
if you're
hear.
125 and still can't hear it, try turning your volume up.
You want to try this?
Yeah.
See if you can hear it?
Yeah.
I remember I had it on my phone and I would play it and my parents couldn't hear it. And then all the kids had it.
What's muted? That's why.
Well, yeah.
All right, we're about to play this. Everybody. Because we're just sitting there.
You hear it?
No.
You don't hear that?
You can hear it? You can hear it? Do it again. Do you hear it?
Yeah, dude.
Do you hear it?
No.
You-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear
You
it.
hear it too? I don't believe
Me and
any
the
of you.
boys. Come on, man.
That's crazy. What is it making? What noise?
I don't
probably
know.
messing with us.
I don't know. It doesn't have the hertz or whatever. I don't even know what you call
Well, I
it.
mean, is it going to be?
It's just a high pitched, like a noise.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. That's so
That was-
crazy,
Mm.
dude.
That was fun. That worked out well.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
I
worked.
would borderline believe that there's no sound.
I think if you believe the earth is flat, you won't be able to hear it.
Ooh.
All flat earthers can't hear that.
Yeah. Well, because the sound's different on a flat Earth than
Right.
it is a circle Earth.
Yeah.
True.
Doesn't
And
ping.
so we are
That's right.
circled Earth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Aaron,
Circled Earth.
A circled Earth?
is it not a circle? Is it not a circle? What's a globe? Is a globe not a circle?
It's a sphere.
But it's a circle.
That's true.
If you're looking at
Round.
one side of
It's a
it,
3D circle.
if
Yeah.
you were
3D
flying in outer space, you go look at that circle over there, and then it would take you a while to get to go. I think it's a sphere,
A circle
and I think you
still
would be
flat,
Right.
you know?
But from if you're on one side of the Earth, and you're
That's
coming
true.
in, and you're an alien, and you
Right.
go, let's go see what that circle's talking about, and then you go over it, and then you're like, man, this might
Wow.
be a sphere, dude. And then the other guy goes, oh yeah, I mean, but where we were coming from, it's a circle, and he goes, okay, and they would probably agree.
Yeah.
He goes, no, I understand.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen it? I'm honestly, I'm gonna switch to flat Earth now. I don't like how I'm getting treated over in the not flat Earth world. They treat me nice. I can say whatever I want over there. That's crazy. Could you hear that through this? Like everybody at home could have heard that.
Probably. I think they should be able to hear that.
They should be able to hear that on the podcast.
Hope
So let's see. Tell me if anybody is. Yeah, I want to be curious.
Wow.
So I'm 42. Anybody my age can do it. Obviously, he only hears out of 1 year now. Every time I talk to him over here, he goes, "God, what?" He doesn't know.
Easy fun.
Yeah, he thinks he just thinks one side.
So obviously it's not broken down by age.
It is
Well,
because he's 28.
The guys in the 40s could not hear it, and the
Right.
29-year-old could.
Yeah.
wow.
Guys
Well,
in
you
their
could hear it, though.
40s.
I was joking. I
You couldn't hear it?
I can't hear him.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I read lips.
Yeah, everybody else is young, and us,
Wow.
the 40s, couldn't
You
hear.
couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I'm a young
Yeah.
40s. Just so y'all lumping me in with y'all's nonsense. Ginny Weiss. I'm still waiting for the response to the idea that I had about having a Nateland wedding. I don't know if I'm super committed to the idea or just want to berate you because you won't acknowledge my comment. So
She's talking to me about that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you remember the guy who had you propose to his girlfriend
Mhm.
in the comment? And then I
Yeah.
think you said, well, Jeannie, I think, suggested to him to do a Nateland wedding, and he says his fiance's on board with it.
So we would I marry him?
I don't know if you have to marry him, but they could get married on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I would let that happen.
Didn't he live in England?
All right,
Yeah,
maybe not.
him and Ben Crichton can come over.
Yeah.
And, we'll have a ceremony.
Yeah, you guys get a boat together, head on over, and
Boat.
then yeah, if we could go,
Where would you have
I'd
it?
go. I said we go to theirs.
Where would you have the
We would just go
Nateland?
there.
Oh.
It's going to be tough to find a time that I can go there.
Well, no,
I'm
you
gonna
could
be honest.
officiate it. Maybe you could
I
officiate
know.
it.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We all of us go to England
We're groomsmen.
if they're in England. Yeah, y'all gonna be groomsmen, or we'll just be his groomsmen, and you can have a real person marry you.
Yeah.
And we'll be his groomsmen. Be in all the groom photos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have an old aunt that's like, I never met his friends, That's going to be super confused by it. It will be tough to find a time. That's the only thing I'll tell you. Kat Rockwell. I need to go to England. I want to go. People ask me to go. I'm dying to go to England.
So do I really want to go too.
Yeah.
It's great over there.
Yeah.
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 The motherland.
Have you ever
even
performed
though I'm
over there?
Italian.
You
Have
do
either
a-
of y'all performed overseas?
I mean, Iraq.
Well,
Yeah, I've been
those are
overseas.
for Americans, right?
Yeah. But I was
Uh,
in China.
Well, I did. Mine was for Saddam as a private party. I was there the night before they blew up his.
He had no idea what was
He
He had
coming.
no idea. He had a big party going, and I was like, right when I left, I go, "Hey, just a heads up. I'm hearing some stuff. I might close the party down a little bit early and go to one of your other palaces." And he goes, "Yeah," and he thought I was joking because I'm a comedian, and then saw what happened. I always love saying that to people. They go, when you say, I performed in Iraq, and because I've stayed at Saddam's palace, and I say that, and I was like, he was still there, but it was good. Kat Rockwell.
That sounds like a fake name, by the way.
Yeah, could be.
It's
Kat Rockwell, I would believe that's the only name I believe.
Cat Rockwell.
Yeah, that's a fun name. That's a good name.
Fun name.
In the 80s, when we went to a local aquatic theme park, they called it aquatic theme park. You just call it a water park? Is that not what it's called? I mean, to have a name like Kat Rockwell, I think you should be saying water park. I don't think maybe, is this a Rockwell family? Is that, maybe it's a very wealthy family, and I feel like cats, they're wild card.
Well, when you read the comment, you may change your mind.
Yeah. My mom rinsed out bottles of log cabin syrup, filled them up with water, and tied a string around it so we could have portable bottles of water. Years later, I showed a photo of my husband of me with a water-filled syrup bottle around my neck and explained that it was the late 80s before bottled water was invented. To which he replied, water bottles existed back then. It was then I discovered my parents were just too frugal to spend money on bottled water.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
You heard of a latchkey kid? This is a latch water kid.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but man,
Those
log
are the
cabin. I wonder if
bottles.
it had a syrup.
It feels like something my parents would do.
Yeah. If it had a syrup
There's
taste
no
to
way
it.
you get all the syrup out of that.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, unless you washed it.
It seemed like a milk jug or something.
But I still think you'd have
Yeah.
one sip that was like, ugh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a little discolored too,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. It's half syrup, half water. We all got diabetes. What if it's just syrup and they go, we all had diabetes by the age of 10?
Don't know why.
Day 5465. Day 5465. I think that's a real one. You,
Yeah.
you believe that one more than Cat
What?
Rockwell?
Oh, that's their screen name, isn't it?
Mhm.
What is that?
Thanks for going along with the joke. Pleasure. Thought I had a professional comedian over here. Doesn't get jokes.
I didn't move that fast. I didn't move
Yo,
to the next
folks. I've been wondering for too long and have to ask, what are the books on top of Nate's bookshelves, and has he ever read them? If so, how long did it take? I love the show. Nate, Aaron, and Berbiglia are all awesome and essential. Keep it up. I like Berbiglia. What are they?
I can answer that second question. No, he is not.
Yeah.
There's a book called Train Your Brain up there. You been reading that one?
I don't think I read Train Your Brain. I read some, not all of I have Outliers. I read some of Outliers. I didn't read it all. Outliers is a great book. It talks about just like the Beatles, like having that 10,000 hours and what you got to do in Bill Gates.
Right.
And Bill Gates was like, he had 10,000 hours of just doing stuff on his own. And the Beatles played in some whatever bar before anybody knew who they were. And it's like,
And
you
they
just
needed so many songs.
you needed so many
Yeah.
songs. So you just end up, I think that's what New York comedy
Yeah.
was you're just getting your hours
Every
in and
day.
you're just every day
Sets.
just up. We went up every day. A lot of comedy books. Do Fish Drink Water? That was a book with like weird facts, which I should look at that again. I was doing that. I bought that book for a joke idea, like just to get my mind thinking. Comedy writing, step by step, comedy writing secrets. I read some of those there a while ago. The Great, I don't know. I can't see everything.
I'm dying up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great book.
So I'm Dying Up Here is a great one. Yeah, just stuff like that.
A lot of people think
Mhm.
the Seinfeld DVDs are just Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Oh no, they're real DVDs. So yeah, there's that. It's all just basic comedy
Yeah.
books. A couple like SEAL Team 6, or I read some military books. I would always read those. I
In
like
case
those.
Nateland gets attacked.
Yeah, we need a military.
Thank you guys for giving it something.
Yeah,
I like the books, but then also I want the fans to know that there are a lot of helmets here also. And not for sports, just helmets.
just general. There's a bike helmet. There's a deflated football. Yeah, there's a brick from that hit my face at Zany's. He
Yep.
just saw Zany's last night.
Yeah.
Saw that. Jacob Turner. I once taped a Kentucky-Tennessee basketball game back in 2008. I told my friends to not say anything about the game. One of my friends blew it and told me Kentucky won. As a Kentucky fan, I was mad. He told me what happened, but happy that my team had won. Turns out the friend was lying, so I watched the whole game only to watch us lose. And we had a shot at the buzzer to send it into overtime, which I obviously thought we made since I thought we won the game. It clanked off the rim, and I was devastated.
That's,
Well,
pretty
that's hilarious.
Pretty great.
Your friend, I mean, you might be a genius. That's so funny. I've never even thought about that. Just
Yeah.
tell someone they won in
Yeah.
a close game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they have to. That loss hurts more than ever.
This guy's friend should be friends with the cricket guy.
Yeah,
I think those guys should hang out.
Yeah.
yeah, they should. His lawyer,
Yeah.
the cricket guy, should he should get this guy's buddy to be his lawyer,
Right.
Mhm.
because he's down for whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be like, yo, I'm making this up and we could go to jail forever. And he goes, I don't care. I think I can win this case. And then and all he does is play that song. He goes, "Yeah, does everybody hear it?" And all Matt's got to, his name Matt, right?
Yeah.
All Matt's got to do is be like, "Who hears it? Raise your hand." And Matt and that guy raised their hand. And then, or no, the opposite. It's
Yeah,
got
I
to
think
be the
the
opposite. Oh, he's got to do the opposite. Yeah. He goes, "Y'all are all old." Yeah, I don't know. You know what's funny? I posted a Slanket commercial that I did on my Instagram, and I'm watching the Vandy, Kentucky. Oh, that's Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm watching a Vandy, Kentucky game where Kentucky won, and it was like and it was around that same time. 2008, we won the SEC championship that year.
Is that right?
Yeah, because we beat Kentucky. I'm almost positive, and because that's the year we beat Kentucky, and then the Kentucky won the championship.
You may be right. I was thinking it was a little bit later than that, but you may be right.
I don't know. Maybe it was later. Anna Walker. I was wondering, when y'all meet up and do the podcast together, obviously Brofenbreiner does his own project and research for each topic. But Nate and Aaron, do you do your own research beforehand, or do you go into the podcast without any research under your belt?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I
Right.
do no research.
Right.
But I mean, I bring the heat every time.
That's true.
And Aaron, just lucky to be here. So,
Do you know who Brofenbrenner is?
no. I've heard people say something like that.
Yeah,
What is it?
he was I just looked him up. I'd never heard. of him.
Oh, okay. So you didn't know.
I wasn't
either.
going to make fun of you for not knowing him.
You
I'm
were
just saying.
trying to. You
Well,
didn't
I
like
was
where
just
this is
curious whether you had heard. You blew through the name like it was
Yeah.
the third time you read it today. You know.
going. I mean, I have active conversations about Bronfenbrenner, but it's never about this guy. It's just another guy I know named Bronfenbrenner. Brenner. Yuri Bronfenbrenner was a Russian-born American psychologist. All right.
Yeah.
Is he alive still? No, probably not. 19, no, he died.
no, he's
yeah.
been dead for quite
Was
a while.
born in Moscow, Russia. Died in Ithaca, New York. Lived a life. There's two very random places.
Very different.
You're born
places.
in Moscow? Oh, cool. And then you're like, oh, where's he buried? Ithaca? Is that
He
the
started
town
the
from
Head Start-
from
He
Seinfeld?
started the Head Start program.
What is that?
That's, I believe, starting kids in school earlier to get them a jump, on their education.
Oh, okay.
So what do? 2 months you throw them in there?
Yeah, get them
Yeah.
in school.
It's like when you make them swim.
Well, 3 months into being born, you go to their crib and you go, party's over.
Yeah.
Time to catch the bus.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah.
They crawl to the bus
Crawl to the bus.
and they can't even reach the top part.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They can't hold their heads up yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all just in the classroom, just heads down. Heads up, heads up, heads up. That's where the heads up comes from. Or is it Head Start? Kyle Techmeyer. I am a high school teacher, and last night we had our Meet the Teacher night via Zoom. For every class meeting, I started out with the classic, hello, folks. At the end of one of the meetings, as parents were logging off, one of my senior parents said, let's go, folks. This immediately derailed me in the best way possible as we chatted about the podcast, much to the confusion of the other parents still in the meeting. It turns out we both are going to a show in Royal Oak, Michigan. It was a long night, but that provided me with comic relief if I needed to get through it. Well, that's awesome.
Well, is it? Because they should be talking about the curriculum and preparing these young people for the future.
That is
they're-
true.
Instead, they're having banter about your podcast.
Well, this is a senior parent, so one of the seniors have kids, and so that's the school they're in.
Well, he's a teacher.
One of my senior parents, I take it as he's a senior in high school and he's already a parent, and his kids are already in the school. That's how I read it.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Guess y'all don't know to read. Jose Venta. I decided to buy a suit for my wedding and went to Men's Warehouse, and the lady taking care of me was so nice, and she kept suggesting different accessories and whatnot. And by the time it was checked out time, she rang me up for $850. I paid because I was too embarrassed to be like, yeah, so after you did all this, I'm not going to pay that much. I called my wife in the parking lot to ask for a huge favor to see if she could pretend to be a bridezilla and come return the suit after shift change at the store. This is when I knew we were meant to be together because she agreed. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's why that's a look, I think it's either you're going to have a wife or a husband, but you got to have one of those that will do that.
Who's a loose cannon?
Who's a loose cannon
Mm-hmm.
and is going to be that's willing to go do that, because I would do that too. I would just pay for it because you're like,
And Laura would go in and fix it for you.
Laura would go back,
Yeah.
or my mom.
Yeah.
My mom. It depends on what kind of scene I want. If my mom will go back, my mom does it very nice, but I mean, my mom will.
She'll get it done.
She'll get stuff done where you're like, I mean, the store is called We Don't Take Refunds, and she'll walk in and come out with that refund.
Yeah.
She doesn't let up. That's why she would have done your Planet Fitness. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you might have got all your money back.
Yeah, she would have figured it out.
She's just really good at that. And Laura also is good at it too. Like Laura will call and do that kind of stuff. So I got a little, if it's too heavy for Laura, I go, look, I'll bring in the big guns if you want me to.
Uh-huh.
And my mom will do it. But yeah, you got to have that. All right. Thank you everybody for listening. As always, we're going to get started with,
Want to mention this?
So someone made this, Nathan Udell from Green Bay, Wisconsin. He made us a cool Nateland.
Wow.
You know how many license plates he had to ruin on people's cars? This took him, parking lot after parking lot.
12, I think.
And he
Wow.
would go in and they would watch them, usually older, an older couple.
Right.
He knows they're going to be in the grocery store for a while. And he would just saw off, and they don't notice until they get pulled over and put in jail. That's when they
pretty
notice.
great.
That's pretty awesome, man. We're going to set that up on the shelf.
Yeah. Take some of those books down.
Yeah.
Put down the Nateland license plate.
Yeah.
Which was probably made in a prison close by.
Yeah. And I had Megan McCloskey, I believe that's her name. She made me this mug this weekend
wow.
in Red Bank, New Jersey. If you listen to this, we just got done with Red Bank, New Jersey. And I think this is coming out in 2 weeks, the week of October 20th. So if you listen to it, this was a few weeks ago. But yeah, let's go, folks.
That's
And she makes those. I think she has Megan McCloskey. I think she has she might do stuff like this.
Mhm.
This is all she can do.
If you
If you want, like-
hello, folks, I'd take
She
it.
has a hello, folks.
Oh, okay.
I have it, so you can have it.
All right.
So he's got you have the hello, folks. I have the let's go, folks. People still shout it out every show. I love it. It's just so nice. It's filling all of us together. Baltimore first show, no one shouted it out. Or that I didn't hear. The first show, Baltimore. Second show, Baltimore, they did. And I talked to a nice young lady, Katrina, and she goes, I was going to shout it out, but I was too nervous. So Katrina blew it, and I told her I was going to let everybody know that she blew it.
Right.
And so
Hurricane Katrina.
Hurricane
right?
Katrina
Blew
came
it.
in, blew it. Yeah, it's exactly.
That's pretty great.
That's
some great banter.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good joke.
I mean, I get why people tune in.
He's writing it down to remember.
Yeah. Hurricane Katrina, she blew it. And they're like, that's good, Mike. I'm going to use that in my hurricane chunk. That is a comedian. Comedian is a hurricane. I always think about that when
Yeah.
comedians like, were you talking about that? It's so funny. Just like before you go up, just like you're saying stuff, you're like, I'm going to close with the refrigerator joke tonight.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's a job. A job is to tell someone that you're going to do that. You're like, hey, I'm gonna do my circus stuff a little bit earlier than normal, and then another person goes, that sounds good, and they both get it, and that's crazy. That's a conversation.
Shop talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's shop talk.
It's shop talk.
That's what you say.
No, that's what everybody says.
Don't they say talk shop?
Shop talk.
They don't.
Somebody look it up.
They don't say shop talk. Aaron will have it by the end of the episode. Aaron, we thought was good at Google, and
Shop talk. It popped right up.
Jay Cutler.
I mean, it
looked
popped
right through
right
him.
up.
Talk shop. No one says shop talk.
But I've heard talk and shop before.
Talking shop.
Talking shop before. They don't. No one goes, y'all want to do some shop talk?
Yeah.
And
But
they'd
I'm
be
more
like,
of a concise comic. I
Yeah.
don't like to spread things out.
That's true. It's
Like,
word
Let it
economy,
sit,
right?
let it
Yeah,
sit.
word economy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are ready to get into fall because we like the cooler nights and enjoying a nice fire with our friends and family, making s'mores over our solo stove and watching Titans football. We love it. We do it in our cul-de-sac a lot. It's we've talked a lot about solo stove. It's so great. It's like smokeless. You don't smell like smoke. The solo stove has been so much better than any fire pit I've been around. You don't smell like campfire. I would always take a shower. I honestly, every time, if you go around a fire, we'd build fires outside, and I would then go take a shower at 10 o'clock at night because I just didn't want to smell like smoke. There's no setup, just unbox and enjoy a little fire starter wood, and you can have a nice fire quickly. We have the bonfire version with stand. It is small enough to take to the front or the back, or if we go to the lake, we can easily take it there. It burns down to a white ash, so cleanup is super easy. Get the perfect fire pit for those fall nights and make your backyard a destination with a spectacular fire pit from Solo Stove. Shop the fall event now and get an extra $10 off when you use promo code Nate at checkout. They are so confident that you will love it. They offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. So just go to solostove.com and remember, you get $10 off when you use promo code Nate. Also, Scribd, with today's endless amounts of content across multiple platforms, trying to find a book or audiobook or podcast takes forever. Sometimes I even give up before finding something that I was looking for. I went recently to like the bookstore, and it's like, just who knows? You walk around, Dewey Decimal System, it's all there. I got rid of that, and now I have Scribd. You get instant access to millions of ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, like I said. You also get thoughtfully selected editors' picks and smart recommendations based on what you have read. It makes choosing everything a lot easier. Wired, TechCrunch, and Forbes has called it Netflix for books, which is exactly what it is. Yeah. It's just like streaming services for TV today. We have access to so much content at our fingertips. Same thing goes for books. So far, I've listened to a few podcasts, listened to a few audiobooks on the road. It is so easy to have all in one place. With Scribd, the world's most fascinating libraries at your fingertips. Fingertips. I said trips. Fingertips. It's at both. All for just $9.99 a month. And that's cheaper than if you buy a book a month.
Oh my gosh.
A lot cheaper.
So much cheaper.
And you get the magazines and all that kind of stuff. That's what it's all becoming. All this is kind of, you get everything in one thing, which I like. Right now, Scribd is offering our listeners a free 60-day trial. Go to try.scribd.com/Nate for your free trial. 60 days, you get to try it. But sure, use that address because it's normally a 30-day free trial, but our listeners get 60. So go to, that is try.scribd.com/Nate to get 60 days of Scribd for free. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you probably heard me. I've talked about the Helix mattress a bunch. We just had another comedian sleep in it. We keep it rolling. We love it. Helix has left the bedroom and they started making sofas and more. They just launched a new company called Allform, and they're already making the best sofas we have seen. Allform is the easiest way you can customize a sofa using premium materials and a fraction of the cost of traditional stores. The fact that you can customize it is great. That's something that customized sofas is, I think something like sofas are like, no, this is how they're supposed to be. And now it's like, no, you can do whatever you want. You might have a weird room. I used to have a apartment that had a train. It was like everything was in a row in Queens. Like New York especially would have these weird kind of setups, and now you can get a sofa for it. Laura put ours together, to be honest. For the office, we chose the armchair with the sand fabric with the natural wood legs. It is really comfortable and roomy. I sit in all the time as she yells at me from behind her desk, and I enjoy it. I'm fine when she's correcting me because I'm in a comfortable chair. If getting a sofa without trying it in store sounds a little risky, don't worry. You get 100 days to decide if you want to keep it. That's more than 3 months. If you don't love it, they will pick it up for free and give you a full refund. They even offer a forever warranty, literally forever. To find your perfect sofa or chair, check out allforum.com/Nate. And Allform is offering 20% off all orders for our listeners at allforum.com/Nate, ALLFORM.com/Nate for your new favorite sofa. That is 20% off all orders at allforum.com/Nate. So this week, Mike Vecchione lived many places.
Right.
But we like to pick Pennsylvania Is that the most you've lived in?
Went to Penn State University, 91 to 95.
Wrestled?
And then I wrestled for 1 year.
For 1 year?
Because the guys who were really good, I want to separate myself and give them the credit that they deserve.
Like, so another one, big one, people don't know, Greg Warren.
Greg Warren.
Greg Warren, very funny comedian,
Yeah.
wrestled
Right.
at Missouri,
Yeah.
and he was
an All-American. So people in the comedy community don't understand the wrestling community, and they go, "Oh, you wrestled, he wrestled. You guys, what would happen if you guys wrestled each other?" I'm like, he would destroy me on another level. He was an All-American. We had All-Americans up and down our lineup, so he was like one of those guys. Who was just.
Were y'all wrestling
was
at the same time?
I think he took 7th in the country, so that's 7th Division I in the United States.
Wow.
That's
I didn't know
insane.
that.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
insane.
plays it down, obviously,
Yeah,
because
so
he's
he's
such a
that
humble
good.
guy. So I had to play it up and go, no, I'm not even in the same ballpark,
Yeah.
you know.
And did y'all wrestle around the same time?
Is a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, would you ever heard of him back then? Or is it, there's no.
No, but there was a guy, like, I mean, if you looked at the rankings
Yeah.
and stuff, you would see
Yeah.
he was a guy. Yeah. He was an
Yeah.
All-American.
That's so
huge.
crazy.
That's like when
Huge deal.
Kurt Angle wrestled Brock Lesnar for real.
Right.
When nobody and Brock's so much bigger, but Kurt just took him down because he knew how to do
Kurt
the right
Angle
moves.
was a beast,
Yeah.
man. And so was Brock Lesnar. Those guys were two. They
He
were
wrestled
they were
in
national
Iowa, yeah.
champions. Yeah, you win nationals.
But
like,
Kurt was All American, right?
Yeah.
I mean, gold medal.
Olympic, yeah. So
winner,
that's how much better
Greg
a
was,
wrestler, because Brock Lesnar is that good.
Yeah.
He was a national champion.
national champ.
And then he goes to the Olympics, Kurt Angler, and he's Angle, and it's not even close.
No.
Mhm.
That's
He
so
wins the
crazy. I mean, you would
Olympics.
think though that you talking about they wrestled in the WWE?
Yeah.
for fun. Yeah,
Oh.
For fun, it's a sports entertainment, but as competitors, these guys were insane, unbelievable.
They didn't wrestle for real.
No. I'm making it. It wasn't. They just did it for real, but not on TV. Just to see
afterwards.
afterwards.
Did they wrestle each other in competitively? I don't know what years they were. I know they were both national champs, but at heavyweight. But
No, he's saying they did it like one day. It was like, hey, let's have a real
Oh.
wrestle. They don't tape it.
Right.
It's like just them,
the real thing.
the real
And
thing.
people watched.
like at the beginning of Rocky IV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope your fans get that reference.
Huh? Yeah.
Apollo Creed and
Yeah.
The older ones will.
Kurt Angle
And-
from Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
from PA.
Oh.
How about that?
So Pennsylvania, you think your longest time that you've lived, or Florida is probably your longest?
Florida,
Yeah.
probably. But Pennsylvania, I had great years in Pennsylvania, 91 to 95, then moved to Philly, and from Philly, 95 to 2003.
And taught.
12 years.
You taught school.
I taught, got my master's. I got undergrad from Penn State University
We
in
don't know
criminal
what that is.
justice.
That sounds
Penn State
bad.
University,
Undergrad.
blue and white.
Undergrad.
Undergrad.
I don't know
criminal
what that really
justice.
means, but that's
Oh.
it sounds made up, and it sounds. I always think undergrad sounds not good. Like it's very insulting. That means you graduate.
Right.
Do you know what an adjunct professor is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, were we allowed to talk about that? Because Nate doesn't know what that is.
Well,
If he doesn't know what college is, he probably doesn't know what an adjunct professor
Oh
is.
yeah, I don't.
No.
So
So it's off limits.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
this
Okay,
podcast
so-
is to make me look.
I don't want to make you
brilliant.
look bad
Thank you.
on your podcast.
Thank you.
We're close.
Yeah.
So I got my undergrad criminal justice from Penn State, and then went to Philly and started working with gang kids at a school called Glen Mills, which is no longer there. It took adjudicated kids that were going to go to lock up and tried to rehabilitate them. Not tried; they did a great job. And then I just started working in the mental health system with kids. And then I went back at night for 5 years and got a master's in special education. And then I taught for 5 years in Philadelphia, and then a working class suburb called Upper Darby, and then a upper middle class suburb called Garnet Valley.
That's great.
And then I moved to New York. end
Threw
of
it all away.
2003. Threw it all away for comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like we
Threw
put
it
you on
all.
a stand to prove you're an expert witness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like Marissa Tomei and
Yeah.
my cousin
Do you-
Vinny up there.
Yeah. Do you hear the cricket noise right now?
I hear the cricket noise when I do my set.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's pretty.
Yeah,
That's fun.
pretty solid.
Yeah. That's why I quit teaching.
This past weekend, cricket in the ceiling of the club.
Oh,
It
really?
chirped the whole show.
It's
Oh,
hilarious.
wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of charming for a comedy
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
If a joke's getting nothing and then the cricket
Do-
is naturally up there, it's not even a joke
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah. It's always tough because you're like, you address it, and then no one really moves on from it.
Mm-hmm.
Did everybody move on, or is it kind of like you just hear it?
It wasn't super loud that like it dominated the room.
Okay.
But I could hear it, and the people in the front,
Yeah.
Did you
the
acknowledge it?
comics could hear it. I didn't because the guy before me did.
Oh, you should have said I didn't hear it because I was killing so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the guy before me told me.
Yeah.
there was
Then the
one too.
cricket got quiet and started. I heard laughs from up there, and I go, "Wow, this guy's a fan." Yeah, that's almost the best way that situation should be handled. Is you have the person that goes up first, like make fun of it, address it, and then when you go up, we're not addressing it and just try to get it out of people's minds.
Yeah.
Because it's always like sometimes you can hear a noise and you think, should I address it? And you're like, if I address this, then it's going to continue to happen. I'm going to have to keep bringing it up the whole show.
Yeah.
And then people can't do it. I have a joke about that now, about this girl's laugh, which I'm not going to say because it's a joke. But it was like that, where it was like, it wasn't going to go good.
Mm-hmm.
And
You have to address it.
you have to address it.
Well, I had an incident. This happened a couple times where it's like the room is full, which I know is hard for you to believe, but
Yeah.
sometimes the room gets
Yeah.
full for me.
Yeah.
And there's people in the front, and I'm doing, everything's timing. People don't realize that, And the people in the front are going, yeah, I did that too. But they're saying it so that you can hear it.
Mhm.
But they're trying to make it about themselves. But they're saying it, but they're right in the front, so no one else can hear it. But
Yeah.
they're saying it to you, and it's like you have to stop the show and go, "Hey, dude, you got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
You're throwing my timing off. Like
Yeah.
you have to stop." They're like, "What? What am I doing?" I'm like, "You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Stop doing it because it's going to ruin the show. I already have trouble thinking on my
Yeah.
own, and
Yeah.
you doing this is making it way worse."
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. And then they just sit there with a frown
Mad
on their face
face.
the entire time. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you do? You understand what this is?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't do that in a play.
Yeah.
Just say stuff. So you
Yeah.
have to do that, and then you have to try to get the rest of the room back,
Yeah.
which is challenging.
Yeah. That's all I learned. That was one thing you learned. Those are the little tricks that are little things you got to learn kind of on the fly. And someone says it. I remember someone saying that, like, if you ask the crowd something and they yell it out, you always repeat it in the microphone because people can't hear what they say.
All right.
And sometimes you wouldn't think to repeat it. And then you're like, what? Then I make the joke and no one really laughs because, like, I don't even know what that person yelled.
Right.
And so you got to do it, or you got to address like that kind of situation. I'll try not to, but then you get to a point where you're like, well, it's
Yeah.
happening.
If it's happening early in the set, you're like, look, I have an hour here, and it's happening 5 minutes in, and it's like, oh, this is going to be, because I don't want to address it either. I
Yeah.
want to try to build momentum and the fun. But if it's like 5 minutes in, you're like, I have 40 more minutes of this. It's like I gotta do this in the. But it's like you try to have fun with it and make it a joke, but you almost can't make it a joke in that situation because you gotta let the person know that you're serious.
Yeah.
Like it's not funny.
Yeah.
Like I'm not having a good time with this.
Yeah.
So it's like, please stop doing it. It's ruining the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. It's like, because what you got to understand is it makes our mind wander. And so we're trying to do our jokes, and we know the jokes, and trying to really get into a rhythm with the show and murder and
Right.
make everybody have a good time. And if it's just like, like up front and no one can hear, that's all you can think about. And so then you just hear it and you're trying to go through it, and then it's like, it's not happening. And it's good if you stop it early
Yeah.
and then say it. You don't want to like make someone feel bad, but
no, what I try to say is like, look, I don't want you to get kicked out. I want
Yeah.
you to be here.
yeah,
I appreciate you being. I want you to be here.
yeah,
But please stop. Like you guys, I don't want you to get kicked out.
yeah,
I want you to have a great
yeah,
time.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
just did a show where I looked down and my shoestring was untied. So the whole set, I'm debating: do I stop, put this mic down, and stop for tie my shoe? And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't think anybody can see it
yeah.
or notice. And when I got done, so many people after the show said, the whole time you were up there, all I could focus on was
Yeah.
that shoe being
That's
untied.
hilarious.
That's all they thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really great.
That's a Bates show right there.
So great.
Like Bates, when you get done with it, you go, there's always one thing that you're like, there's a white mark on the stage behind you. And I could only think, your watch was undone. It's backwards. I noticed that for some reason. And I could never, that's all I thought about. Because you don't like. and
I don't kill enough to distract people.
No, I'm saying they don't kill enough, but you don't look like a guy, like a kid could do that.
Yeah.
And you would think Pete Davidson could do it, and you'd be like, oh, he's cool. He leaves his shoe untied.
Yeah.
And
They
you
untie
move
their
on.
shoe.
Yeah, you move on.
Yeah.
And then with you, you're like, he forgot to tie his
Oh,
shoe.
bless his heart.
Bless his heart. Like
He may fall.
someone walks up and goes, "Hey," and they tie it for him.
Yeah.
You got to those situations, like, because you think it's very funny, like when doing comedy with that, because you're like, that's why that's why it's so hard, is because you have to be on the whole time. You're not a band where it's like they can be looking at a bunch of different things, or they can talk and it doesn't matter because no one can hear. It's the most focus on just one singular person. I check my zipper all the time up there. I just kind of touch it like right when I get up just to make sure. If a laugh gets too hard, if I get too hard of a laugh, I'll check my zipper because I'm like, I don't know if that was.
Yeah.
I don't trust that laugh, and then you're like sitting there like, is something on me? And then and so but you're there. I think that moment you got to tie your shoe and you make a joke about it. You put in the mic stand, you tie your shoe, and then you're gonna and you just know as a comedian you're good enough to come up with something funny.
Yeah.
And it's a very real moment.
Yeah.
And people like real moments.
Yeah.
And so you do it. You tie
People
your shoe.
also like you to be dressed before you go on stage.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Maybe show them respect. You know, when you walk out there. Yeah. Yeah.
I just did a corporate show, and the guy before me was a motivational speaker. He had the whole headset, like a TED Talk, and he was great. He spoke for over an hour, and I mean, everybody's taking notes. I started taking notes. He was so good. Talking about how to change your life, and just, I mean, talking about how everything in life's a deposit or withdrawal. Anytime you take a sip of water, it's a deposit or soda. I mean, just how your whole life is. And then I have to follow.
Did he take the sip of water from a maple syrup bottle that was around his neck? Call back. I'm sorry. Let's keep
squeezes it. And then lets it, just drops it from there, and it lands on his stomach.
But then I have to follow him, and my whole set is just about self-deprecating how, if things are not going well for me. And he was in the audience watching. And the whole time,
that's so great. After every joke, you should have gone withdraw,
withdraw,
and then at the end, go bankrupt. Good night.
That would have been unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It was just a very shift in the day. You could just see the mood of the room shift to.
You gotta, that's a situation that they're tough. And you got to just go, I know how to do it. And you have to address that. There's times you don't have to address something. And there's times that you just like, I got to start with addressing this so I can talk about, like, I know this is ridiculous that I'm up here now. That guy was amazing. Saying that, like, I
did address it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you just do that. Yeah. And then that's, because that is a good way to think of stuff. Withdrawal and
deposit.
Yeah. So you're depositing. Water's good.
Mm-hmm.
Soda's bad. Mm-hmm. So you're withdrawing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though you're depositing it, but it's going nowhere.
But it's hurting your body. Like, it's not even a neutral. It's.
Was it like a nutrition?
No, it was just that was.
What
just
about thought? It was like what Nate was saying. Like, you make a joke, put somebody in a good mood. That's a deposit, a positive deposit. Then they're depositing, they're bringing that goodwill around to everybody else, versus saying something negative to somebody now puts them in a bad mood. Now they're negative to everybody.
Yeah.
Usually
I live that life.
Right.
So that's what we're getting to. This guy is just looked at my life, nicest man in stand-up, and said, I'll just talk about him. Is that what I'm going to write that down.
But is it thoughts? Why? Did he do something about thoughts? I mean, you took notes.
Yeah, he did talk about.
Where are the notes?
Well, I don't have them on me, but he talked about relationships with your wife and at your work, and just very positive. I usually make people feel better about themselves by talking about my life. Mm-hmm. He just made them feel better about themselves by just giving them positive stuff to talk about.
Right.
Wow.
And then,
well, that's when you make fun of yourself. You got to have some confidence in it to like have fun with it, and then that like we talked about when you were first starting. And you don't do it anymore. But like, it was like you have at the beginning when you're self-deprecating, you have a hard time where people feel sad for you.
Right.
It's a balance.
And so you're like, you got to do it in a way that it's not sad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can laugh with you. So instead of them laughing, don't make them laugh at you. You want them to laugh kind of with you and be like, oh, I've done that. Or they think, oh, I knew he would do that. That's so funny. Yeah. And you got to get them in that kind of thought process. I've talked about it here, the stuff with my wife jokes.
Yeah.
Was always like, at the beginning, it could be too mean. And people are like, why are you married? And you're like, well, that's not, then I got to figure out how to, whether I do jokes about giving her some wins. She's got to be, the powerful one in the
Right.
relationship, and then I'm the dumb one, and then there's times that I can be the powerful one,
Yeah.
and it's a balance. So you show a marriage, because that's what a marriage is not one person's better than the other. It's like they have their ups and downs. He's good at this, she's good at that, whatever.
I like it if you just switch. Now I'd like to do my Saudi Arabian set.
Yeah, and just be like, I mean, they nailed it right, because
And they shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. That's a great Orny Adams joke about them voting, where he goes,
Yeah.
he goes, then we had to vote to see if women could vote. Well, how do we lose that vote? Like, that's a very, I think about that joke all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a very funny,
Yeah.
it's always like little jokes you think of that just kind of stick with you. And you're like, that's one of them that
I think he tells that in Comedian.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's always, I don't remember all of Seinfeld's jokes, Comedian, but that one always stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, you just have jokes that kind of stick with you, and you're like, oh yeah, in little bits and pieces.
It's usually the simplest thing.
It's usually the
It just
simplest.
sticks with you. It's so funny.
Yeah, and you're like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So Pennsylvania, the blue.
So I lived in Philly for 8 years.
What do they
Loved it.
say about it? Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and
Alabama in between.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah.
that's funny.
It is. But I'm from Ohio originally.
Yeah.
Ohio is a great wrestling state. Pennsylvania and Iowa are probably the two, at least when I was coming up, the two best wrestling states. It's always those northern kind of like
Blockheads.
blockhead hill folk.
Yeah, that's
state.
what he called
Country,
us.
a lot of
this-
country boys.
That's what he called us this weekend.
Hill folk.
He only called me, Travis, and
folk?
Chase, our merch guy, hill folk. He goes, I'm sorry, is the hill folk talking? He's just talking about us three. And it was the best put down I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Hill folk.
hill folk
Yeah.
is so funny to just be like, a bunch of hill folk over. You're like, it is like, I mean, you can't say anything back to that. You're like, oh, yeah, I guess you're just running up a hill. We live on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Look at all those hill folk up there.
Drinking water out of maple syrup bottles.
Yeah.
Your whole lives.
What's first Pennsylvania thing?
That's one of the original 13 colonies.
Wow, y'all live off that, huh? You've been eating off that for quite a while.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
It was founded by William Penn,
Yeah.
Oh,
Good dude.
haven for the Quakers.
good. He was a good guy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He wanted to just be called Sylvania, which is Latin for woods,
Yeah.
hill folk. But King Charles II named it Pennsylvania after Penn's father.
Right.
But Penn was worried that the settlers would believe he named it after himself. So he's worried that everybody would be like, oh, great.
It's an ego state.
So he might
Yeah,
be.
It's a state
so
with a
he's
lot of
good
people
guy.
with huge egos.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like a good guy. Or at least to have that thought process.
How much of a fight did he put up?
Yeah, he may have
Yeah.
made all that up. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm sure he goes, I don't know, how does it look? And then you're like, no, dude, Sylvania sounds bad. Like Pennsylvania sounds really good. And look, it just happens to be that. And you did
Sylvania.
find this land. It's not crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and now looking back, you're like, you wouldn't think that's an ego thing, but I understand the idea. So I think there is probably some pride in the fact that
If
you don't want to say it, but then everybody else says it. You're like, all right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You go. Because I was going to name it William Penn, but Pennsylvania's better.
If you found an island
Yeah.
and you had naming rights to it, would you name it?
I'd name it
After
Nateland now.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
name it
Yeah.
Nateland?
That's like somebody calling something Nateland.
Yeah.
You
I would
never
say
think somebody would do that. but
I
they
talked to
did.
someone about an island, there's islands in a river, and you can buy them, and they're not crazy.
Mhm.
It's I don't know how much they are. It might be like 150, 200,000 for an island,
Yeah.
which is like, I mean, the houses are more than that, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. But it's like, I think one day just buy an island,
Yeah.
and it would be crazy. Like that would be the best thing ever, just to have an island and just go to it and just know,
Yeah.
you're on an island.
This
I mean,
mine.
would you
This is
go
my-
to it, or would you just put your enemies on that island?
I
and
might do
go-
that.
You go to the
When
island.
I don't want to go, I would then rent it out to prisons.
He would take me out there on a boat, and then when
Yeah.
I'm not looking, he would just take off.
He just hears me, and he doesn't hear that noise
The
because
frequency.
now that frequency's too not enough for him. And you're like, that's one. You're like, well, this is over 70. You don't hear this.
He looks back, and I still haven't even turned around.
Yeah.
I heard nothing.
He's just sitting there with his hands on his hips, Bates just looking at the new land. Hearing nothing. Brrr.
Quiet back there.
Yeah.
Just having-
No, he loves it.
oh.
All
But
right.
Sylvania sounds like a vampire state. I'm glad
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
used Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is an upbeat.
I was trying to think
It's an
what
upbeat
states are
plate.
named after. I mean, a person. Washington.
Right.
Is there any other? Most of them are like Native American names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into
Georgia.
it. Let's dive into it.
I think that's interesting. No?
Georgia's one.
Oh, who's it named after?
King George, man.
All right.
Come on, dude. Tighten up.
Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the nation's capital.
Yes, I
10
did know
years?
that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
And then y'all lost it.
We lost it. Yeah.
You didn't have it for long, right?
Mm-mm.
10 years, I think.
How do
Yeah.
you lose it?
Well, they
I
were
don't
building the White House, I think, or the Capitol building in D.C. And
So
It'd be great if they were
just
doing it
hold
in secret. It's like
Yeah.
we're keeping this as the capital, right? Yeah. Well, why are
Yeah.
you guys building a White House over there?
Yeah.
It's like just no. We just
The
wanted to
guy
build a
moved
White
in.
House.
Guy moved in over there. It's a family. Who is it? It's like Abraham Lincoln. And you're like, Abraham Lincoln bought that house that's a white. You go, yeah, he just bought it.
don't worry about it.
Don't worry, I wouldn't even get crazy about it. Who would want to live there? It's in the middle of the city. It doesn't even make sense. Putting a fence around it, Secret Service up top. But we're not gonna take anything from y'all. And then y'all left the bell,
Yeah,
The
the
Liberty-
cracked bell.
the cracked bell. You go, y'all can keep that bell. It's cracked. Put it in a museum. That's all you got.
Yeah. Well, we got Rocky. Also,
You got Rocky. That's the great
Rocky. It's the best.
Burr. When Burr went off
Yeah.
on Philadelphia, it's
Yeah.
like y'all worship your best athlete is a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Character,
It's a
yeah.
fake guy.
It's a fake
Meanwhile,
guy.
Joe Frazier is from there.
Yeah.
It's like a slap in the face. It's such a slap in the face to Joe Frazier.
Who's the greatest boxer in Philadelphia? Everybody goes Rocky, and you're like, and Joe's like, well, I'm here, and I
Real.
yeah, and I'm
And I'm
real,
real.
and would murder Rocky.
Yeah.
It's nicknamed the Keystone State.
Yeah.
To the beer.
I don't think
The
so.
pipe-
I think the
Pipeline.
beer was probably named after something.
Just
I
the
guess so.
pipeline.
After the Keystone Pipeline, I think that's why they did it,
They just said it was such a keystone to establishing the country.
and that's what they said.
That's a way worse reason than ours.
Yeah, I'd rather pipeline.
I think just a stat here. I don't know if it's on your sheet
Uh-huh.
there, but the most pro quarterbacks I think have come out of like the Pittsburgh Aliquippa area.
Yep.
Joe Namath, Joe Montana, like these guys all.
Dan-
Dan Marino,
Dan Marino.
like they all come
Wow.
out of Pennsylvania.
Johnny Unitas, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
What are they
Take
doing?
that.
What are they doing special there?
I don't know. I think
That's
it's
crazy.
in the water.
Name it.
I don't know.
Oh wow, dude, that's Johnny Unitas, Joe Montana, Joe Namath, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, George Blonda, Terrell Pryor,
Johnny Lou Jack.
Johnny
Go
Lou
Irish.
Jack. Golly, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Kerry Collins, Matt Schaub, Bruce
Rich
Gradowski,
Gannon.
Yeah, Rich
Matt
Gannon.
Ryan,
Yep.
Rich Gannon. That's
They
crazy,
train
dude.
people to be quarterbacks.
Yeah, that is unreal.
hours.
Gus Ferret.
Gus
Farad.
Farad. Yeah, he was great.
I mean,
All right, the list is getting worse. Let's move.
yeah. No, I mean, you still like it's every time you go, you're like, well, I know who
Yeah,
that person
John
is.
Huffnagel.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that is
crazy. Dude.
crazy.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
people. Wow.
High school football is real big in Pennsylvania,
huge,
right?
huge. Yeah,
Yeah. That's impressive, man.
right,
Pennsylvania has more Amish than any
Joe
other state.
Paterno,
right. We just went. I just did a one nighter for Soul Joel. Shout out to
Mhm.
Soul Joel.
Soul Joe. Yeah, we talked about
great.
Soul Joe in here. He's the best.
It's fantastic, and we saw Amish on the way there.
Yeah.
I think that's it. You know, you used to. I don't know. You used to think, wow, it'd be tough to live. Why would you do that? Blah blah blah. But it's actually, now that I think about it, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Yeah.
way to live. You
Well,
know what I
that
mean?
was, yeah, it's when you see them, you're like, it's got to be just such a great,
great.
like, you know, the kid, as a kid, you wouldn't understand it.
Right.
And the older you get, you do.
Yeah.
That was, someone said, like yesterday, which if you listen, this is a couple weeks ago, but when like Instagram and Facebook went down, and you know, it's like, is this good or bad? And you're like,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. It's like enjoy the day of like, well, I can't look at my phone, so
Yeah.
and then just enjoy.
Well, you
look
start to
around.
realize how addicted you are to
Yeah.
it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's like, oh wow, I can't check my phone. It's like,
Think about how many times you pulled it and it said couldn't refresh.
Yeah.
right.
If you pulled that 100 times,
Yeah.
you're wildly addicted to it.
I
'cause
shut
you were
my
like,
phone off and on. I
Yeah.
deleted the app and
Yeah.
then reinstalled
you?
it. Yeah. And I don't know how to do anything. But I
Yeah,
know how to do that. I was like
yeah,
a rat just hitting a pellet.
Yeah.
I was like, eh.
yeah. You didn't just look up on Twitter, is Instagram down? And they go,
No.
yes.
I won't betray Instagram by going on Twitter.
Oh,
Yeah, I look at them as separate entities.
yeah, that's good.
But surely there's a way to live in between being addicted
There
to
isn't,
Instagram
and don't call me Shirley.
and Amish.
He did the fist bump.
That's a podcast first.
That's
right
a podcast
there.
first.
He
Initiated
initiated the
yeah.
fist bump.
He loves it.
I don't know if that was for me, but
Yeah.
I took
That's
it. Right
No,
away.
it was.
Yeah.
It was so Vecchione was doing it all weekend, and it's very funny. The fist bump, and I forgot. I was talking about your fist bump, but he just says it. He called us hill folk, and he's like, right, and he'll just do it to us, and you gotta go.
Yeah,
Well, that's insulting. Why do I have to do it? It's a very funny. Yeah, if you're at home, it's a very funny to think. Just trash someone to their face and be like, right, and then make them fist bump, and then they were going to naturally just be like,
Yeah.
and they fist bump their own
They're
thing that
thinking
they
about
got
it.
made fun of.
I was surprised that Amish has grown. It seemed like it'd be something that would be fading out. It's
Yeah.
like doubling
Wow.
since 2010.
and they're not taking in new members.
Well, there's people born.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what's crazy. It's just
Why aren't they?
Because it's. I mean,
They're full.
Yeah, do they take members? I don't know if you take
I don't
members
know,
there.
yeah.
I read a book a long time ago called "Growing Up Amish,"
Yeah,
and it's this guy who, believe it or not, grew up
Amish.
Amish.
Mm.
And he wrote in it that it is extraordinarily rare for someone outside of the community to join. In his
Yeah.
entire life, he only knew of one guy.
Yeah.
So unless that's changed dramatically, that's all just people having kids.
Did he also say we would love it if people joined and no one wants to?
They
but
have
there's
no
one guy-
interest. They have no interest
Yeah.
in growing their numbers at
Yeah.
all. They're just like, we just want to live our life the way we live it.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
They're having a lot of kids in.
Yeah,
I,
must be.
well, I mean, they have to. They don't
At-
have entertainment.
At the end of living in Philadelphia, I worked with my buddy, just some part-time stuff like installing marble. We installed Italian marble into this house, and as we were installing, it's a beautiful house that we were carrying the marble into and installing it. The Amish were doing woodwork at the same time, and it was top of the line,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Was it
Out
a
in the
ton
same
of them?
house?
yeah, in the same house. Like we
Yeah.
were installing the marble tops,
Yeah.
and they were doing some woodworking, and I just happened to go and on a break and look at their woodworking. It is just phenomenal. They're phenomenal.
so they looked at you, a meathead carrying Italian marble,
Italians, no, they
and
look at-
Italy.
Yeah,
So they looked at like, oh, that's what the Italians are good at, carrying heavy things.
right.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Amish, and y'all both like respected each other.
Acknowledged. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
I think so.
Pennsylvania was founded as a Quaker state.
It's pretty solid.
But that's different than Amish. They're like,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's not like a monolithic just Amish. There's a bunch of different types of.
Yeah, no one knows what that word
Monolithic, yeah. For Nate, can you break it down?
we all
No.
looked at Nate immediately.
means. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what Amish is. I think he's. That's what I would assume. You get to a point, you asked one question too many, so then you come back with just a giant word, and,
To
then,
end it.
and then everybody goes, "Oh, I guess he does know this stuff," and then we move
Uh-huh.
on, and you hope we move on. But I think you were done. No one answers, and so you threw out monolithic.
No, I'm saying I don't think there's not one big Amish group where they all have the same rules and live the same way. It's a bunch of different types
Yeah.
of communities. So
But-
it really depends on where you.
But I don't think Quaker is a sect of Amish. They're different.
They're
Right.
totally different.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
totally.
sect-
I think they're
like
totally
a section of.
a sect.
Is that a section?
It's a section, but
Is
people
it?
don't say sect. People say that's where section came from. That root word, sect.
Why would they not say section? That's what the more
longer.
popular one. I know, but that's the. So every time you see them say a sect, it just means section.
No, a sect is a group of people.
Yeah.
A section is a part of something, even
Ah.
an object.
So sect is just it's a group of okay.
Let's go back to the guy who taught middle school.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what he's thinking about. My big word I always used was the only one I knew was encyclopedia. And I would just throw that out if I needed. Someone says something, I was like, well, our encyclopedias are doing really good right now. Just, that was my big word.
Our encyclopedia.
Huh?
You just said it wrong too.
Encyclopedia?
You said encyclopedia. Just
No, I think I'd say encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. I didn't mean that was a sentence came too close together. But encyclopedia was my big.
That's
if
so
somebody
funny.
goes, "What's your big word?" I go encyclopedia,
Oh yeah.
and then that's all in
That
it.
is
Such a
pretty
funny
nice.
word. You know nothing. It's in the encyclopedia, but
No.
you know the word.
But I know it's a long way to get to the end of it, and so that's what I would do. Encyclopedia.
Did you ever see the Friends episode where an encyclopedia salesman comes to Joey and he can only afford to buy one letter, so he
Yeah.
buys V, and he
Yeah.
just knows everything about V stuff,
Oh, that's
but
funny.
nothing else. It's very
It's
funny.
That's funny.
Penn Jillette was
That's right. It's
was
Penn
the
Jillette.
seller. Benjamin Franklin inaugurated the first public zoo in Philadelphia.
Who?
Benjamin Franklin.
He designed it?
He inaugurated.
What's
Oh.
the zoo called? Pittsburgh? The people in Pittsburgh are not going to like that
They're
one.
not
I
gonna
can't
like
wait
that.
to see the comments next week.
Pittsburgh.
It was supposed to open in 1859, but it was delayed till 1874 because the Civil War was going on. Not a good time, I guess, to have animals.
Yeah. Phil should have tried it. You know,
First
imagine
zoo.
that Civil War.
Pennsylvania had the first zoo?
First public zoo.
All right.
Imagine
People had
just-
private
yeah.
zoos.
Yeah.
It's like, "Psst, hey, want to see my
Yeah,
zebra?
Yeah.
Get over here. Hey, pal.
Yeah. Hey. Just come out of a bush, your head comes out. In it. Just making noises. What? You guys see a zoo? It's
What's
private.
a zoo?
Yeah, what's a zoo? It's this private thing. I lock animals in cages. That's cool, man. And you just go back and look at it. Yeah, that guy's got a tiger back there.
That's crazy.
Some famous people from Pennsylvania: Bill Cosby, Jerry Sandusky, Mike Vecchione.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Let's move on.
Wow. Wow. Boom.
That was pretty sick.
Boom.
Oh,
Mike,
That was great.
Mike,
That was great.
Hill people.
Hill folk.
Hill folk.
Hill folk returned fire.
It really does.
Speaking of Gettysburg,
Yeah.
just getting some bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news Bates, too.
Yeah, I
Bad
like-
News
I
Bates.
like
That's a
rings.
great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great nickname. Coming with like a black cape.
Yeah. Oh, he
That's a
is.
good idea.
It's about to unleash everyone. He brings something. This all started with he talked about babies dying for like 30 minutes.
It was relevant at the moment.
Wow.
Oh, the episode was called "Best Time to Be Alive."
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to balance it out.
Wow.
Most casualties of the entire Civil War was at Gettysburg, Battle of Gettysburg.
Wow.
How many?
23,000 Union and 28,000 Confederate.
That's so many people, man.
Yeah.
That's a real, like, it's crazy. It's like, that's a real war. Like, it's what, it's like straight up, you're meeting on a field and you're like, let's go.
And it's a civil war too. It's like you can speak the same language.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, can you shot me? You know what I mean? It's like, stop
Yeah.
shooting. Can you
Don't-
stop stabbing me
Yeah.
with the thing on the end of the musket?
Come on, man.
I'm already hurt, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. What's that? Is that Randy Moss where he does the come on, man?
Yeah.
Come
That's-
on, man.
The whole Civil War is that. Come on, man. I got hit. I'm walking back to my side. I'm out.
I'm out like it's dodgeball.
Like it's dodgeball. I already got hit.
Already got hit. Relax.
It was like brothers and
Yeah.
it's just brutal, dude. That's
Brutal time. Must have been a brutal time.
that's so hard, dude.
Yeah.
And you're just fighting your own people.
Just a
and, like,
curiosity. What do you ever look at life expectancy? I'm 48, so I look at life expectancy, and in 1901, I would be taking my last breath about right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
You know
talked
what I
about
mean?
it on
If
the
you're
best time to
lucky.
be alive.
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Let's-
That's what we did.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot longer now. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody died really young. though.
Young, like 30 was like you're a grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever been to a Civil War reenactment?
I think that's great though.
Yeah,
I love
I
the
liked
idea.
it.
Of
Would
that.
you go to one?
Absolutely.
I would
Yeah.
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to go to Gettysburg. I'm going to stop. I'm going to try to go to it on the bus when we go up around that way.
Mhm.
And I haven't been close enough yet to it, but I'm going to try to do it. I need to take Harper to that one. But
He's a Civil War
wanna go see it.
reenactor.
Did you do
I
it?
knew guys that did.
That's
Yeah.
so
but
great.
I went to one on a field trip when I was younger. We went to one,
Yeah.
but I haven't been as an adult. I feel like it'd be much.
How
different
was
now.
it?
It was a blast.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
I also want to go
Yeah.
to the Renaissance, like a Renaissance thing.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I did that random in
Where
Nashville.
you eat dinner and watch a show and like
Uh-huh.
I want to be in it.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
what's that restaurant called where they do that?
Medieval times.
Yeah.
Medieval times.
That's
yeah,
a great restaurant. They're still around, right?
Yeah, they still got.
You would
those.
think that those would be doing. They should. People need to go to those.
Mhm.
It's very fun. It's very fun to take kids to it. They come out and like I went as kids, and you're like, this is the best thing ever.
They do
That-
jousting and stuff. Right?
Yeah, and I don't feel
Yeah,
like there's
right.
enough of them. You know?
Yeah, I don't think there's one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Just average people can joust.
Mm-hmm.
Or a table for two. It's like, would you like to joust?
It's two
first?
horses that are like boo 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 boo. They
Yeah.
just go very slow at each other, and then one guy drops his stick, and he's like, God, he's just frustrated by it. And
I
you're
like
just
the idea
eating
of jousting for a table.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
Table for
idea.
two, and we have the Smiths versus the Johnsons.
Yeah, put them out there.
Let's go.
Throw them out there.
Fight to the death.
Yeah.
Do you know what the most popular tourist attraction in Pennsylvania is?
Hold on. It's a statue of Mike Vecchione in Penn State.
They have a statue of you.
Yeah.
They took Joe Paterno down. They put up.
Mike
Mike Vecchione.
Vecchione. That's how far the line they had to go to find just a decent person at Penn State.
Wait, what was the question?
James Franklin's at Penn State.
James Franklin, yeah.
Most popular tourist attraction
In Pennsylvania or
Yeah.
Philadelphia?
Is it
Pennsylvania-
Gettysburg?
Pennsylvania.
It's not Gettysburg.
Can I
Oh.
guess the steps? Those steps
Rocky
that
steps?
everybody runs.
The
up.
Rocky
That's a
statue.
good guess, but no.
The Rocky.
It's not
The bell.
It's not the bell, is it? The bell stinks.
This is
No.
it's not in Philadelphia.
Wow.
where is it?
Something in
If I
Pittsburgh.
tell you, you'll know.
Oh,
Pittsburgh Brewing
Steelers
Company.
Stadium.
It's in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Wow, wow.
That's
we
Yeah.
number one in the state.
Yeah,
According to this.
I just was there.
Wow.
We were just in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it was 3 shows, unbelievable show,
Unbelievable.
and they and we went to Hershey Park, Hershey World. Did we talk about that yet
Mhm.
with Nick?
Show Nick.
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
up
Talk
that
about
big
Nick
Hershey.
getting
Yeah,
his
the
bike
Hershey
in.
thing. And so yeah, I get it, dude. I mean, it's a cool
It's
area.
very cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. I get that.
They have a zoo in there. I
Yeah,
didn't even expect that.
yeah. We saw a zoo.
The zoo.
We walked it the backwards way.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
The rides, we didn't go on any of the rides.
You tried.
I tried. The line was just too long.
Yeah.
But how
It
close?
wasn't
Is,
because we were afraid.
how close is that to Gettysburg?
I think it's on the land of Gettysburg. So I counted that as going to Gettysburg. They were told us they would hide behind this roller coaster. They'd wear a red shirt, get behind the red roller coaster, and then just dump out at them.
It's a great town, though, man.
Yeah.
It's just somebody
It
want
really
to
is
take your
a great
daughter to
town.
Gettysburg instead of the Hershey.
No, I
place.
would take her to both, but
But
I
if
mean,
you can only
she's
do
in
one,
school. Yeah, but yeah, she should go see Gettysburg.
Pat Oliveri invented the Philly cheesesteak. I hope I saying his name right.
Is that the name of it, Pat's or?
That's what
Pat's and Geno's are
Yeah.
across the street from each other on 9th Street, which is the Italian market in Philadelphia.
And which one do you think's better? It's Pat's the original.
I
I
like
mean,
Pat's, but I like Pat's but I never get a cheesesteak. I get a roast pork with broccoli rabe and sharp provolone.
yeah,
Wow.
And
No bread?
Actually, Tony Luke's is better. No, I'll eat bread now.
Oh.
And that's soft bread. He's referring to the fact that I went keto for a long time, and I would denounce bread to the point where we were on the bus. He's like, "Do you put bread in the refrigerator or you leave it out?" I go, "Bread is for the weak."
yeah,
And he had to ask somebody else awkwardly on the bus.
yeah. Travis, my
Mhm.
tour manager, puts the bread in the refrigerator, keeps it in there.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and then he goes, "Perfect, Travis." Just goes, "Yeah, it makes it last longer." And you're like, "But I don't want to eat." I go, "What do you do when you eat a sandwich?" He goes, "You eat cold meat on cold bread," and like that's normal. And I was like, "No one does this."
Yeah, that's
Laura
insane.
puts it in the freezer when she buys like some,
Well,
so
right.
it saves.
That's keeping it.
Yeah,
know?
but I don't want to eat cold bread. Like no one does that.
I think my grandmother did that.
Yeah, well, your grandmother and Travis.
She was a Bears fan.
That's
too.
my tour manager. That's what he's meant. He goes, he does everything else great, and I'm
Yeah.
furious about the bread.
Y'all put syrup in the fridge?
No,
No, I don't either.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lucy
I think we
does.
ketchup's out of the fridge. That's a big one. Then we talked about that thing.
I don't think.
Oh,
I
you guys
talked
do
about that.
ketchup free range?
Yeah. Sorry. It was- I don't know if it was. I'd probably left it in the fridge to be honest. That joke. Yeah. Or microwave it, let it heat up a little bit. You know? I keep my ketchup out of the refrigerator.
Ah, I don't think.
And Laura, we didn't growing up, and Laura didn't. But I was like, every time you eat ketchup, it's warm. It's at a restaurant. It's at wherever. Every time you use ketchup, you don't ever do cold ketchup unless you go to someone's house.
Don't they tell you to refrigerate after opening?
It's been going great, and I've been doing it for 15 years, and it's going. I've never had a problem.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason you would do that stuff is like if you're like, if you eat ketchup twice a year, then you need to do it. If ketchup is in your life, then you don't have to.
That's
do it.
all condiments. You do that.
All of them.
Mustard?
Maybe mustard's in the
Mayonnaise.
refrigerator.
You got to put in the fridge.
Mayonnaise is in the refrigerator. Mustard, I believe, is in the refrigerator. Yeah,
Yeah,
mustard's in the refrigerator. But then ketchup, I don't.
Wow.
I think Laura has it in there and she microwaves it when you're not around.
No, she doesn't. I got her. Why would you? You don't ever eat it cold. You don't ever use ketchup cold anywhere
I guess not.
except at your house.
I guess not.
And
That's
it's
a
because
good
they want to
point.
keep it.
That's fair.
But I mean, how bad they act like ketchup can't handle it. Ketchup can't. It just gets put on a shelf and then it's weak and it's like, I don't get them like getting so hot. And you're like, well, let me get you in the refrigerator.
There's so many chemicals in it, probably it could sustain itself.
It's
know?
fine. Yeah.
And ketchup invented in Pennsylvania, right?
I don't know.
Heinz
Yeah.
isn't Heinz in Pittsburgh?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's right.
That's true.
a good pull.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't
Nice
look
job.
that up.
Solid. And that was a legitimate fist bump. That wasn't like
Yeah.
I'm scorching you
Yeah.
or you're
I'm still on
scorching
the
me.
cheesesteak here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The cheesesteak is but it's fantastic food in Philadelphia. And I'll tell you what, in New York, it's great food, but you have to pay for it. Like the food is expensive and in a lot of places. In South Philadelphia, though, a lot of these corner like Italian places, and I haven't been back in a long time, but the food is legitimately homemade and delicious and cheap. At least it was. It was like delicious and cheap. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So good. There was a place in South Philadelphia called Evelyn and Shanks. When I was dating a girl in South Philadelphia, we'd get up in the morning and go to this place, and it was a hole-in-the-wall place, 3 women cooking like in a kitchen, 4 tables, and it was the greatest food you've ever eaten. Fried meatballs. It was just through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only 4 tables. So they could
Like
only
4 tables.
There's always a line.
No, I don't know how many people knew about this before
Yeah.
the internet, really. I mean,
Probably enough.
before the, I mean, yeah. I don't
I
know.
always
how
think
to
that's
do
the
it.
best way to
It's
start a
fantastic.
restaurant is do something like that. I would think most restaurants, when they have trouble starting, because it's a hard thing to start, is they get them too big. And so you're like, that's like, comedy clubs can have that trouble. They
Yeah.
build one and be like 600 seats, and you're like, not everybody can sell 600 tickets. And so you end up having to have all these curtains. But which sometimes okay, like West Palm Beach is like that, and they have they just have curtains. They go. So does Stand Up Live, which is great, and they have ways that they know that, and so they can make it feel very good and small. Or if they get Bill Burr's running an hour and wants to go at a comedy club, they can do that. And so that's a good idea. But like restaurants, I would think we went to a breakfast place in Destin, and it was, I think it was 4 tables. So there's 15 people in there, and then you just get that, and you got to wait for someone to be done. And it's like that's almost better. It makes more people want to go, and then you probably get your cooks and chefs or whatever get more time to like make the food better because they're like
Right.
they're not just
But the whole thing is turnover too. You want to turn the tables over, and when you have like less tables, you're going to make less money because you can't turn them over as fast.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to spend as much money either. And so like it's a balance of like what's the perfect amount. There's probably a number that's like we can get the most out of this number and be consistent every day to be packed, or we can go big and then we're packed on Sunday, and the rest of the week you walk in a restaurant, there's one person sitting at a table.
Well, I think it's high pressure waiters. You go, are you done yet? Are you done yet?
Yeah.
Look, wrap it up, guys. I'm giving it'd be great if you gave them a light at the
Yeah.
table.
Oh yeah.
Like comics
Yeah.
get like a red light. You guys got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Finish it up because we will have to.
Well, you could do that 30 minutes. You could be like, everybody has 30 minutes to eat.
Yeah.
We'll have your food to you, and you have I'd be like, or you could say, once we get your food to you, you have 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And the clock starts.
They
And when
set
the
a
clock
timer
starts.
on there?
Yeah.
And we will come take your food at 30 minutes. That's enough time to eat.
You don't get leftovers.
You don't get you can get it boxed, but
Okay.
if you
Right.
that clock, the second it runs out, you just go, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And
can't.
then people waiting would have no exact time when the table
Yeah,
will be ready.
right.
Yeah.
22 minutes left
Right.
over
Yeah.
there. I'll
Yeah.
just wait it out.
Yeah. Set your
And
alarm.
that'd be a great place to go break up with somebody.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
like you eat and then it's like, look, I really think it's over. Well, we're out of time.
Yeah. Oh, let's go. All right, I'll see you. Yeah. We'll start that. restaurant.
No onion,
Yeah.
no tomatoes.
A
Huh?
timed restaurant.
A timed restaurant. No
Yeah.
onions, no tomatoes. We'll be very friendly,
Mhm.
but it's like everybody's trying to get in here. This ain't a come spend all day kind of
You
thing.
give them the light with like 2 minutes.
No
left at the
onions, no
table.
tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was Michael Scott's? Every time I watch The Office, there's
She-
always some reference reminds me of
Yeah.
you. He canceled the ad team that
Mhm.
was making the commercial,
Yeah.
and he's on the phone, and Ryan's trying to explain to him, "You're not in advertising." He's
Yeah.
like I went to open a restaurant because I don't know anything. And Michael said, "Well, I do know about a restaurant, and I have it." And he what is it? He calls
Mike's
it
Cereal Shack.
Is
Yeah.
that it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Mike's Cereal Shack.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think of you every time I see that episode because
Yeah.
you're
And
no
that
tomatoes,
show,
onion.
to bring it back to the theme of the podcast, set in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dude, that was nice. Look at you and I just getting it back
Too
on
much.
track.
Let him get it out.
Wait, before this,
Get it all out.
This
This is your time.
It's the only time I get a guest.
Yeah.
Is friendly.
That's friendly. Every guest we've had on here
is
Hostile.
hostile.
is it Nick? No, Mick. Mick is hostile.
Nick had him in a headlight. Just
so they called him Mick every on the podcast. So that's why everybody calls him Mick when
Yeah.
they see Nick. And but yeah, Nick comes out. Nick asked to not sit there.
Where did he want to sit?
Just
Sit
not
on your lap.
Just not
You said literally anywhere but this
anywhere
side
but
of it.
here. He goes, I'd even not do it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wha-
Hostile. Yeah. Nick's a real diva till these cameras come on. No one sees that side of him. Yeah.
2 U.S. presidents were born in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
2.
Yep.
Yeah.
James Buchanan. Anybody want to guess the other one?
I don't care.
Biden. Right?
Oh.
Joe Biden. I was
Yeah.
trying to
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
true.
That's
Scranton.
a great poll.
Yeah.
He saw my notes.
I'm sorry
Oh,
to say
it's
this. Aaron's
from
having a
Scranton.
great show.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
He saw my
Yeah.
notes. He wouldn't have guessed it.
I did. Oh, yeah, I did, but I knew that one too.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Is he from Scranton?
Whoever has the best
Yeah.
show, do
He's
we get
born
a
in
bat
Scranton.
or something?
A what?
A bat or something from the bookshelf?
You get
Yeah.
one of the
Not a book?
One of the books.
Yeah, one
from
of the books. You
bookshelf.
don't get the bat. That's
Okay.
Sonny. That's Sonny Gray gave me those bats, which I think he's here downstairs. I think so.
Sonny.
Yeah.
Crayola factory can be found in Easton, Pennsylvania.
Yes. Crayola. And people don't get excited about crayons as
Yeah.
much as they used
Y'all
to.
did. Y'all made some like really lifelong things.
Crayola is
Crayola,
unbelievable.
Heinz, Hershey's. I mean, some pretty staple.
Is the Lego factory in Pennsylvania?
I don't know.
Let's look it up.
I mean, that's like pretty wild to be like this state has just got some monsters. I mean, those 3 things could pay for everything in the state. So why don't they?
Chocolate and crayons.
Uh,
That's what we like
3
to
main
do.
factories in Denmark. Actually, not in America.
Oh.
Yeah. Mexico.
Yeah.
They
so that was
they make
y'all lost that. Y'all let that one go because it would have fit in there because your town's built on nothing.
Oh,
There's
man. Okay.
buildings
Whoa.
are fall left and left, left and left. I don't know. I can't. God. Should go
But
But
back
we
to
still got
school.
Crayola, right?
3 billion crayons produced each year.
Yes.
9 million a day.
And what
Wow.
are some new colors? that
Enough
we've
to
come up with?
wrap around the earth 6 times.
Wow.
Yes. The round earth,
The round earth.
right?
The circle.
Not the
No,
flat
that
earth.
mean once and back.
Oh.
Like it goes to the end, and it touches the wall, then another one goes and runs, goes all the way back. Go ahead.
Let's get to some new colors. Hold on, the
We got some
Crayola. I
fun
don't think we
colors.
should talk about
All right.
Crayola a little bit because they're coming up with new colors.
Mhm.
And when we were growing up, it was just like blue, red, green. But now there's like fuchsia and go ahead, Aaron.
I
there's
remember
something.
razzmatazz.
Ooh.
That's a color.
That's a pinkish red after
Yeah.
this ad.
Wow.
After this ad.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Just yeah.
geez.
It doesn't matter. Don't. Oh my gosh. It's like he looked stuff up, and it just doesn't make sense.
What are you talking about? This is a great list, but then all these ads, they wait until you're actually using the site, and then
Yeah.
they just pounce on
And
it.
your answer's not even on there.
Yeah, well, something happened here.
There's
It
gotta be an
redirected me.
easier way.
Here's the list. Okay, we
Okay.
got razzmatazz. That's the pinkest red. Outer space.
What is that?
It's like a dark,
Dark
gray.
gray,
It's like
wow.
the color of outer space. Jazzberry jam. A lot of fun stuff.
You skipped periwinkle.
Yeah, I feel like we've all heard of periwinkle.
I've never heard of
You
periwinkle.
never heard of periwinkle blue?
No.
Oh, yeah, I have, but I don't talk about it that much.
Yeah.
Doesn't hit normal conversation.
I can't believe that you skipped periwinkle and thought, whatever, obviously. Obviously periwinkle. That wouldn't even be on the list. It shouldn't be on the list. Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Jazzberry. These seem
Jazzberry
like frozen
jam,
yogurts.
unmellow
They seem
yellow.
like frozen yogurts.
Yeah.
I mean, these don't even feel like real colors.
Yeah, beautiful. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's great.
Neon carrot. That's just a bad name. That's
Yeah.
like someone's, like someone's kid, like the guy, Mr. Crayola's son was like, well, I'd like to name one. And they go, well, yeah, we'll let you do it. He goes, neon carrot. And they go, and everybody else that works there is like, oh, God. And then he's like, my boy came up with a color. You're like, can you pick it out? I think so. Neon carrot.
I think I would come up with
Yeah.
fern.
Yeah.
Yeah, fern. Yeah, manatee would be mine.
Wow. These look like wing options. Piggy pink, atomic tangerine, wisteria.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Ringing rocks. You guys familiar with this, Mike? Ringing rocks.
Beer.
No.
It's
Ringing
our
rocks,
intern.
Rolling Rock.
Our intern Cole found this one.
Ooh.
It's a place, I guess, a park you go to with a hammer and hit some of the rocks, and it makes a ringing sound.
Hmm.
And scientists still aren't sure what causes this to happen, but it makes it
Well,
like a
maybe,
chime sound,
how long's it been there?
probably for thousands of years.
Yeah, so maybe it's time to figure it out. It's
Hitting a rock with a hammer.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in Pennsylvania. That's all I know.
Oh.
like it's so crazy to think like scientists like you listen to them for everything, and then you go, "What about those rocks? Why do they ring?" He goes, "I'll be honest, that's a tough one." You're like, "And you are going to solve cancer, and you don't know the rocks why they're ringing?"
Maybe two different guys, but
Well, send a group over
Yeah.
there.
I'm sure they
I
have.
mean,
That
send
seems
the-
like a geology.
I'm sure they have some theories. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, but send like a good, smart group and be like, "Can y'all go do this?"
Seriously, just take a weekend
And just
it out.
please figure it out
Yeah.
because it looks ridiculous.
I have a rock joke from my Geosci 2020 class at Penn State.
Ooh.
Let's hear it.
What did the igneous rock say to the metamorphic rock?
What?
Don't take me for granted.
Who said that was in your rock class? you came
Geosci
with?
2020 rocks for jobs.
Rocks for jock.
Freshman
Rocks
year.
for jocks. Is the class called that?
Yep.
Rocks for jocks.
Rocks for jocks.
Is that like the joke, or that was their actual name?
No, that's the joke name of the class.
Yeah.
Nate, That we would
Rocks
have
for
fun
jocks.
with
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I don't know how smart Penn State is, so I thought maybe y'all. That's how y'all.
Yeah.
I thought that's how dumb athletes are that they had to name it that.
Rocks for jock.
So they go, they're not getting it. What was it called? It was like called something.
Geosci 2020.
Yeah. So everybody's like, well, I ain't taking that. And they go, no, dude. This is like, you learn about dumb rocks. Oh, we're going to solve the ringing rock thing?
no.
I mean, not even
Mm-mm.
close.
Do these rocks, when you hit them, is it different ringtones?
I think so.
Hearing
Yeah.
from?
It's the
Do
first
they
ringtone.
update them?
Maybe
Did
they
update
all-
the rock park?
Maybe they all ring. It's just old people who are going to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they
Only
can
young
ring.
people can hear it.
Yeah. All right.
Want to move it along?
Yeah. Move it along. I can't watch Aaron try to figure this out.
The bottleneck, we can get into it if you want, but the bottleneck in this process is not my ability to Google.
It is though, but you should go to my YouTube that doesn't have ads.
I'm on your YouTube.
You're not. You're on internet YouTube. So you would go to.
What?
You're on Google.
What's this?
YouTube.
What's this called? Nicest guy in comedy loses it.
Yeah.
On his staff.
You're on like
You're on internet
You're
YouTube.
like no, you're on like the search, like just you search it in the thing.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
want to hear him hit these rocks.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Yeah, it's cool.
It's a little.
Eli
That's way
Manning.
more underwhelming than
Yeah.
I thought it would be.
It's definitely cool, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like.
Now you know
I
what-
guess we were in the area and we went and did it. I don't think. Yeah.
Now you know why they haven't looked into it that much.
That'd be
Yeah,
really
Like,
bad if you went there and you forgot
go.
your hammer.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to punch a rock now.
You go. You're just walking around and you're like, "Hey, can I? Are you almost done with that hammer? Do you mind if I just do it a little bit?" He goes, "Well, you can hear when I do it." He goes, "I know, but I want to." It's
different.
It's different. I just left the house. I don't think I need a hammer. When do they have hammers just laying around?
This guy's having a great time.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. He's alone. There's one guy,
Yeah.
he just changed clothes, and they're trying to be like, everybody's coming here. And you're like, that's the same guy.
Yeah, he's always by himself.
Yeah.
many times do you do it before you go, all
Yeah.
right, I get it?
What if the solution they come and they go, you know what it is, guys? It's the hammer. That's what's making this noise. God, how stupid were we? It's the hammer. Because I did it on my table at home, same noise. It's the hammer. All right.
Getting some sports.
Yeah.
Steelers won 6 Super Bowls, 4 in the
Yep.
70s, 2 in the aughts.
Where
in
I'm
the
from,
70s.
just a fun fact. I'm
70s,
from
super southern.
I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, which is halfway between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So half the people are Cleveland Browns fans and half are Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Yeah.
And back when I was growing up, they would just the Browns were always struggling, and that the Steelers were great. So they would always be like 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Anytime you'd argue with them, because they go 4 Super Bowls. What's up?
I think you can look at a person's personality by who they would pick. Like, I think I'm someone that would pick the Browns. I think we're Vandy
Yeah.
fans.
Mhm.
So we would pick the Browns.
Yeah.
And then someone that goes, well, I'm doing Steelers. And like, you would be like, well, they,
Ryan Malone.
yeah, Ron Malone. But he was a Steelers fan because as a kid, they were colors of Vanderbilt. So he didn't live there. But I'm saying if you go to Youngstown
Yeah.
and you could see the people, who would you want to be around? Someone that picks the Steelers in Youngstown or
Right.
someone that picks the Browns?
You always go the underdog.
I always go underdog.
I
Then you
went
go
the other
Browns.
way. I was an Alabama fan in Alabama.
Well, you were in
over
Alabama.
Auburn. I know,
That's
but
okay.
it's like it's split Auburn or
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah, both are
Same
pretty good
dilemma.
though. The Browns it's rough.
Yeah.
Neither of them were that good back in the day, but like one was
Yeah.
historically much better than the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So it's the same thing.
Yeah. 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 That's why I think you're the least liked on the podcast. I don't know if you've seen that poll. It's when I started.
You did that
And
poll?
I did it. It's only got one vote. It's me. It's me and Brian. And it's got 2 votes. 2 votes for
Aaron's-
yes.
These are daggers. I'm gonna have to take up for him.
No, I
Yeah.
actually voted against myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And self-deprecating. You just
Oh.
made a withdrawal.
And he made it.
Yep,
Oh,
you're right.
but it
Made
was
another-
sad.
A sad
But it
withdrawal.
felt sad.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a
Aaron.
withdrawal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was a good joke, it'd be
Yeah, but you do 2 withdrawals. You draw from yourself, and then the crowd feels bad for you. You withdraw from there. So it's no one's winning.
It's a
And
double
everybody-
negative.
It's a double. You're like, God, that just sucks the energy out. Hi, everybody. Sorry to be here. And everybody's like,
Sorry to be here.
yeah.
That's what he's saying.
That's how he starts the show. Hello, folks. I know you can't wait till I say goodbye, folks.
Sorry I'm here.
Sorry to be here. That's a good way to start a show, though. Sorry we have to do this, everybody. And they go, all right, well, we're rooting for you, buddy.
No, they get it. They're on board with it.
Yeah.
Eagles won Super Bowl in 2017.
Yes. And
I
I was the comedy teller for that one.
Mhm.
And some of the Boston guys were sitting in the corner watching the game, and we had a whole table of Philly guys. We separated
Yeah.
and we watched the game, and exciting, huge
Yeah.
win. And afterwards, we did a mini riot where we flipped over cars.
Yeah.
And it was going to happen
Smaller
either way, win or
cars.
lose.
Yeah.
Well, because we're not that
Are
strong.
you talking about?
We're
I
not that
think you're
strong.
weak. Oh, I think you're talking about the comedians or the town.
I was talking about the town, but
I
you
think you
mean
meant the comedians. Yes, I think that's
Philly comedians are
yeah.
weak.
I think you're all weak.
Wow.
You, Jay, well,
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
is great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you are stronger than I think. But you have Nick. So
We have Nick with Kurt Metzger,
oh,
who's South Jersey,
who's
but
got-
he
he's
and
got
doesn't
just like
identify with any-
maniac strength.
He's got maniac
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah.
And who else do we have from Philly?
All right.
I watched-
Let's keep it moving.
I watched this game at the Super Bowl at Nate's house, and
Joe DeRosa,
Joe DeRosa.
Later-
Well,
King of
that's-
Prussia's own.
Yeah.
later that evening, sorry to interrupt, told my future wife I loved her for the first time.
Oh, really?
Really?
After
Yeah.
the Eagles Super Bowl?
Was it because they won? And
No,
that
it was because
inspired you?
I took her to Nate's house. It's kind of the first gathering. His entire family was there, and I was like, if she had a good time, put up with this
Yeah.
family.
She can put up with this family.
She's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Told her later that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's the test. Just if you want to see if you should be married, come over to the Bargatzes. And if she can handle that,
Yeah.
that's a woman right there.
That's so great.
I wasn't
You-
worried about my family. I was worried
Yeah,
about Nate's
That's
family.
so
Yeah.
great. It'd be great if you got the traditions wrong, like you got down on a knee to say it.
Traditions?
Traditions.
What'd you say? Traditions?
No, I said traditions, I think.
No. I
Can y'all rewind that?
Uh, what? Oh, if you got it wrong and then said it on the.
well, if
I get on a knee and say I
you
love
get
her.
down on one knee and say I love you. instead
Yeah.
of, You mix up the.
He practiced it on
Let's
me
move
first. He goes, Nate, I love you. And I go, all
Yeah.
right, dude, quit being weird.
Yeah.
And then he got in the car and told Ruth. And she said the same thing. She goes, all right, bro, don't weird me out like that.
She was weirded out more than Nate was.
Yeah.
For one season in 1943, the Philadelphia Eagles and Pittsburgh Steelers merged to form the Steagles due to the loss of many players during World War II.
Oh my god,
That's cool.
We
They
did a
should do
lot-
that again.
The Steagles.
The World
Yeah.
War.
No,
World
yeah,
War.
yeah. World War, yeah.
World War.
We should do another World War. I think we're about due for a Civil War, to be honest, when you think about it. The timing feels right.
The Bengals and the Browns, they could have merged there for a while.
Yeah, you should have they should have like a fun all-star. Football is just so hard to do extra stuff. They should do they should go all right, it's like an all-star game. Man, that's unreal, dude. Like that's just an overlooked thing when these guys had to go to war.
It was unreal.
It's unreal.
It
They fought. It was like most of them
majorly
fought.
overlooked.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who you were. Like if you were the heavyweight championship of
Yeah.
the world, like you just got drafted. It's like there's no excuses. Everybody goes, man.
And now
it was
there's
awesome.
excuses. None of them would have to go now. Now they would never let the the elite or the
Well, now I think
famous.
Now I think it should go about how many TikTok followers you have.
Yeah, that's
You
how
have
you get drafted.
You have 100,000. You don't go.
Oh no, I think you do.
Oh, you send them?
Yeah, you
Those are the
send
people
them.
you send.
You only send them so we can
Yeah.
so we can watch the news
Why?
coverage
Because
of it.
it'll be a short war.
Boom! It'll be a short war, and we're gonna wear them down with them having to try to make them all do this, some little dance, and it's like if they put their guns down to be like ready, and then they go do that whatever they do, and then
Mhm.
Little League World Series has been held in Williamsport since 1946.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did know that.
yeah,
Did you? You did.
I knew it was in the back of my head. It was right by Periwinkle
yeah.
in my brain.
Yeah, you'd always go watch them alone.
No.
Can we get that guy out of here? He goes, I have season tickets. I buy them every year.
There's a way to tell a joke without telling a joke, and
Yeah.
you just did it.
Yeah.
And you just pulled it off. The fans everybody got what you were saying. Everybody got your
Yeah.
accusations.
Yeah.
Penn State's won 2 national championships in football.
Wow.
Yes.
Joe Paterno has the most wins. And
Oh, that's
FBS.
good. He's turned out to be a good guy.
they gave him his wins back.
They
Yes.
did. That's good.
Appellate court. I don't know.
What?
Appellate court. I thought they
Oh.
appealed it. They took his
Oh.
wins. He appealed
I
it.
thought you said
Yeah.
Pat LaCourte.
No.
He died immediately.
Appellate court.
Thought
Let
that
me
was one
talk
of the
slower
kids.
because you guys are from the South.
Well,
Appellate
that's
court.
what always crazy to me with Cosby. Like
Oh, here we
what
go.
happened to Joe Paterno? He died immediately.
Yeah.
Like it just when you're that old, it's like it crushed him, and then and he died.
Yeah.
And Cosby is talking about going back out on tour.
He's doing better than ever.
Yeah, I mean, like you thought for sure, like, all right, well, like this Cosby stuff's so heavy,
Yeah.
and he's getting crushed that like it's gonna just kill an old man.
Yeah.
And then Cosby, I mean, he's 80 or something.
Yeah.
Like he's in his 80s, and he's just, I mean, best shape of his life.
The Eagles,
84.
the Eagles' old stadium, the Vet, had jail with 4 cells.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
was living there at that time.
Yeah,
Underneath the stadium.
Yep.
Yeah.
The new Lincoln Financial Field had jail with 4 cells, but they closed it due to good behavior of the fans.
Yeah. I thought they were just going to go community service.
yeah. But I feel like now they go, we closed it, but we still have the keys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Don't get crazy.
In their defense, the behavior it was so bad. Like I don't personally like that. I'm all
Yeah.
for rooting for your team and everything, but like when it becomes a thing where it's not even about the sport anymore. It's you just looking to get your anger out on
Yeah.
somebody else, and you're extrapolating it out through this sporting.
Yeah.
I don't like any of that.
Well,
And there
that's-
was a lot of that in Philly at that
At that
that time years ago.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think
now
this was
don't
right
think it's
after
like it.
Rocky lost.
Yeah.
They
The
threw
people can handle it.
snowballs at Santa Claus.
Yeah.
With batteries in them, I think.
Oh, really?
They threw batteries at
No,
somebody.
that's Cleveland. That's Tim Couch.
No.
Yeah, they threw car batteries at Tim Couch.
Oh, they threw car. They threw
Cleveland.
car. Yeah.
Yeah, the fans.
Oh, the fans of Cleveland.
Yes,
Really?
threw car batteries at Tim Couch. Tim
I
Couch was like
thought-
a number 1 pick.
No. That's Bottlegate. The beer bottle. They threw beer bottles at Tim Couch, and then in
car
Cleveland.
batteries. Where was the car
No,
batteries?
that was in Philadelphia. I thought they threw batteries at
John Elway,
yeah.
Cleveland Brown.
So you're saying they put batteries in snowballs?
I thought they put batteries in snowballs. I thought they had to just do batteries in Philadelphia Eagles
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
and see. I'm sure they did it. If they didn't, then it's coming.
You just gave him the idea.
Yeah. They get Eagles are throwing batteries.
Yeah.
Oh, when they
Oh, it's regular batteries.
that's when they win.
They're batteries when they win.
They won the Super Bowl, and the fans are very excited, and walk around with I'm imagining the article says walks around with a bag of batteries, and that means if you get hit in the eye with a AA,
Yeah.
it was a good day.
Yeah. You're just hoping it's
Yeah.
not a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Mischief Night. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually, I do.
Do you?
I was hoping you weren't going to.
What is it?
It's the night before Halloween.
Yep.
Oh,
Thank you, Nate.
oh wow.
Hey, you really were going to call me on the carpet about
Yeah,
that, so now take your loss.
Call you on the carpet. I think you're making a lot of sayings up in here. Shop talk. That was Aaron. Y'all do some shop talk? Well, I'm not gonna call you on the carpet. Do you like that?
Some great phrases.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the night before Halloween where kids can just do vandal stuff, right?
Yeah.
Toilet paper.
They allow it?
egging. I think it's just a tradition
Yeah.
in the Philadelphia kind of northeast region.
Oh, that's cool. What's next step? Purge. And
Uh,
they're one step away from it. Like Philadelphia's going to just start allowing that.
In 1991, it got out of hand in Camden. I guess it's Camden, New Jersey, which would across the river,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and 133 fire calls.
Yeah.
The busiest day
Yeah.
in their history.
Yeah.
All right.
I delivered FedEx in Camden.
Camden's rough.
Yeah. Wait, maybe not
Camden's-
Camden. Maybe but it was right at that Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because I actually went to Laugh House. I was when I delivered FedEx, and they had me come down to New Jersey, right next to Philadelphia. Like I took a cab over there.
Yeah.
So whatever town was over there. And so then when I was delivering FedEx, I was always a good FedEx driver.
Mhm.
And I would do it in New York, and then that town needed help. So they brought us down there to go deliver. And I delivered. When I got done, they go, "That's the quickest we've ever seen it done." Because I was at home. I was like, this was back to like regular home. So I'm just driving to houses.
Yeah.
So and then I came back in, and they were like, I mean, it's
the
the best we've ever seen.
Wow.
And I was like,
Yeah. At any point where you like, maybe I just quit this comedy thing, and
I think it helped me go for comedy because I knew I could always go back. I mean, I would talk to those guys in New
Yeah.
York. They buy their trucks, and it would be you pay for a route. So like the best routes I think were like Manhattan, even though it's Manhattan, but it's a grid. It's just I did Manhattan. You're just going back and forth. You just kind of double park and just run up there and like ring the thing and set the thing there, and then. But they would buy it might be $100,000 to buy. If someone's going to retire, the guy then goes, "All right, I'm going to sell my route," and then everybody has a bidding for his route,
Mhm.
and so then they pay him because he paid too, and or something like that, and they be like, "All right, it's $100,000 you invest, but you get this route, and then that's your route, and then you're almost a contractor, and so you could even eventually just like not have to drive the truck. You pay someone to drive the truck, and then something like that in New York."
Hmm.
But I think it helped me because I was like, they used to call me every holiday and was like, "Hey, will you come back?" And it's like, "I'm just not doing it right now." I mean, I would have to tell them no. Like,
Yeah.
but they wanted me just to come back for the holidays. Well, they needed help, and they knew I knew what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they called you this year?
If I could have the time off, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would mind it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to go back to New York to do it, but like if Nashville FedEx needed help or a delivery company in Nashville needed help, and I have the time,
Yeah.
and I only had to do it like a week,
But here's a twist.
I would go do it.
You don't bring the package. You bring your own merch.
Ooh,
New fans.
I leave them their package and a T-shirt, iced coffee with cream shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do always a size medium, and they go, well, or I give them the size. I look at their house and I give the size what I think, what kind of monster's about to walk out of that house. You go, ooh, this is gonna be a big one, triple XL. Yeah,
That actually reminds me of a thing because kids in school, they don't know what they want to do, and how do you know what you want to do for a living when you're in high school? You don't know
Yeah.
the options. Or so my thing was just go to a house that you like, knock on the door, and the person comes to the door and be like, "Do you own the home?" And they go, "Yes." You're like, "What do you do for a living?" They tell you, and you just do that.
yeah. That's a good idea.
It's perfect.
That's perfect. That is a
Isn't
good
that
idea.
like the guidance counselor who says, if you had $1 million, what would you do? And then that's what you should pursue.
Well, that
No,
sounds,
but that's
this seems
if
like
you
a-
have $1 million. He's
Right.
saying, here's how you go get $1 million. Go to $1 million neighborhood, knock on all the doors, and say, and just go. Probably knock on a few doors and go, what do you do? I think they would like it. I think the person answering
Yeah.
would like that initiative,
right.
and then everybody likes talking about their success.
Mhm.
So at a random day, they get to go. I get to talk about someone's success, and
Or
then-
make it more confrontational. Knock on the door, ask them what they do, and they're glad to tell you in
Yeah.
a kind of a mentorship type of way. And at the end of it, go, in 5 years, I'll own your house.
Yeah.
Pack up.
Yeah.
Start packing right now.
I'm not saying pack everything, but I'd go ahead and work on the cups.
Back at the glasses.
Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok that does that. He goes around to Beverly Hills and knocks on and just goes, "What do you do?" And a lot of people they'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actor.
Director.
No.
Actor.
Director, producer,
Uh-huh.
FedEx driver. Yeah. Oh.
And then I'll end with Lobster Boy.
Yes.
You know him?
Yes.
Oh, you're Cole over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got Cole. I didn't even, I said we were gonna do this. I forgot about it. That's your internship here.
Yeah.
Cole, next door neighbor's kid. He's going to college. Very smart.
He's a high school
yeah.
senior now.
Yeah. He's super smart. And so like I was talking to his dad, Dwayne, and he was like, just trying to find an internship, like something for his if you ever need help, because they need the internships. And I was like, you know what? It would be great because he can help Brian with the research, because Brian has to look all this stuff up. And so yeah, he's crushed it.
He's crushed it.
So he's in. We got our first intern.
That's so great.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing really good. He has to pay us. I make his dad pay us, and so it's the opposite of what it should be. But
he complained, but I was like, look, I pay to be on here too, buddy. So we all do it. Do you know Lobster Boy? Like who that is?
Yeah, because I used to read the Weekly World News
All
when it
right.
was in
yeah,
when it was being published.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
a great paper.
Well, that's because they didn't have TV. Go ahead.
They had they had Lobster Boy, and they did a lot about Bat Boy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
Bat
Bat
Boy found.
Was it hard to read with firelight?
Like
Would you do a lantern and would it ever catch on fire?
Village Lantern.
Oh, man,
Started
he's so
coming.
good at it.
Lobster Boy, his name was Grady Stiles. He was a freak show performer.
Right.
He had a genetic condition which his fingers and toes were fused together to form claw-like extremities.
I thought you said refuse. His fingers and toes refuse to ever get together. And every time he goes to tie his shoes, he would be like, no. And he's like, guys, we have to work together. And they go, no, I don't want anything to do with him. He goes, he slept with my wife.
So because he had lobster claws, he was called Lobster Boy.
Mhm.
But he was also an alcoholic and abusive to his family.
Yeah.
He was unable to walk, so he would either use a wheelchair, but usually crawl on his hands and arms, which gave him superior upper body strength that, along with his bad temper and alcoholism, led to problems. He shot and killed his daughter's fiance on the eve of their wedding.
What?
He was a jerk. He was
I
not.
mean, that's
was a
more
jerk.
than a jerk.
How do you pull the trigger
go,
with a claw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, especially formatted gun
That's what should have been his argument.
and
Yeah.
alcoholism too. It's like
Yeah.
you got to get somebody to get you a beer every time and hold it for you.
Yeah.
He was not sent to prison or a state institution because they weren't equipped to care for an inmate with his condition. So he was sentenced to house arrest and 15 years probation. He soon became drinking again, and he became more abusive. So his wife hired someone to kill him, another sideshow performer, for $300.
Someone remarried him? So he goes, oh, what happened to your last wife? Oh, that's a doozy of a story. I shot and killed her and our daughter. Oh, that's cool. So you want to go out and grab a drink? Yeah, I'd love to hear more about it, if you don't mind.
Actually, I can't leave the house for
Yeah,
a while.
yeah.
so-
That's right.
I'm here. Do you mind living here? Yeah.
He was hated so much that at his funeral, only 10 people came, and no one would volunteer to be a pallbearer to carry the
Wow.
coffin.
For a lobster boy, he seems like a little bit of a crab.
Yeah. Oh,
Pretty solid.
boom.
Wow.
You know, it's like such a sad thing because you're like, yes, it's awful
Yeah.
that you have to live like that. And then But you would think like you get married and you'd be like, well, I'm
Things are
lucky.
looking up.
Yeah, like I'm lucky that someone looks past all this and is, he's not a terrible looking guy. Like he's a normal besides the hands, but
The feet.
Yeah.
the hands and the feet are tough. But but overall the whole thing is like not bad. And then
Would you rather be him or Green Man?
I don't know. That's not.
Javier,
I don't know. That's not a fun. I always think that's. I don't want to have that conversation.
I think it's
That's not-
amazing that in so he was hired 1992. His wife hired somebody to kill him for $300.
Oh, that's a good.
But
deal.
he was a circuit.
That's so.
mean,
I feel like that's so cheap.
Well, someone that was hated that much. That's probably like. I mean, the guy did. He just took whatever number she said.
Yeah, he would have done it
If
for
she would have been,
free.
if he goes free, he goes, yeah, I'll do whatever. Like
That'd
I
be
don't
great.
like
The
it.
plot to kill him. It's like we're gonna lure him into a lobster trap,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then we're gonna pull him up, and then we'll get him. We'll put him in a boiling pot.
yeah.
It's, like, it's a natural conclusion. All right.
It's a lobster boy.
Rubber bands on him.
Yeah, rubber bands, butter. Just keep giving him butter. He's gonna be delicious.
That's rubber bands on. Yeah, that's. I mean, how do you get? It's funny. It's like people can be jerks. Like you would think.
Yeah.
The bubble
I
boy.
mean, look, you gotta realize he probably grew up crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, back then, dude. I mean, he probably got beaten by
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
people were not like it was not a cool thing,
No.
and it just translated into his regular life. But I mean, he's pretty active for not being. I mean,
He
to
lived
get-
a full life.
Yeah, for him to kill you, you got to really walk into that. Like you're, honey, can you come help me? Yeah, this guy seems like a good guy. Turn the corner. He said there's a picture of him with the bearded lady. Was it her?
I don't know what.
That's
that
who he's married
It's
to.
an interesting thing when you die. You're so hated that nobody wants to be a pallbearer.
Yeah,
At your
Yeah.
meanwhile, it's just a functional thing to move the body.
Yeah.
It's like we'll just leave him here. It's
Yeah.
like that's probably gonna be more of a distraction.
yeah.
Leaving the body in the middle of civilization.
They kicked it. They just kept kicking it down a little bit. Like when you kick, like you don't want to pick some up. You're just gonna kick it forward.
Scrape it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Wow.
Is that it?
I think so.
All right. I think that's it. That's it. It's a fun one. Welcome, Mike.
Well, thank you.
You're
for
gonna be doing
having me.
another one.
It was very good.
I will be this week, San Diego, October 20 and 22nd. 2 shows on 22nd. I'm doing 3 shows in San Diego. Bakersfield on the 21st, Anaheim on the 23rd, 2 shows. And then the next week, a big week, which I'll probably remind you, I'll be at the Grand Ole Opry and the Ryman, October 27, 28. In Columbus, Ohio, October 29th. 2 shows in Columbus. So hope you can make some of those. It's been amazing. The crowds have been, you've seen, they're unbelievable. It's been so great.
Yes, they
they're-
are unbelievable, dude.
They're
so
just
great.
so nice, and you guys, none of that, as I always say, none of it's lost on me. I appreciate it. I would continue to always have the gratitude to you guys. You're the only reason we have a career. So, and then you have stuff.
If you're listening to this the day it comes out, tonight I'll be at Zany's for a fundraiser. Our good friend Bone Hampton's
Yeah.
going through some medical issues, and there's
yeah.
a fundraiser show tonight at Zany's
Okay.
for him. So please come out if you're listening to this day
Yeah.
of.
Right. Which people do, by the way. I've
Yeah.
met people that. And then this weekend I'll be in Phoenix, stand up live with Dusty Slay,
Mm.
and then I'm headlining Gutties in Greenwood, Indiana, which Brian did
Yeah.
last month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm doing that first weekend in November, so come out to see that. That'd be cool.
Ooh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Stand Up Live's a great club, man.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
October 23rd, I'll be at Governor's in Long Island. October 23rd. So if you're in the New York area, please come out to that. 2 shows, 7 and 9:30. Do we do social media?
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah.
At Comic Mike V on all social media platforms. ComicMikeV.com. If you have Facebook but you don't have Instagram, it's a link tree to all of my social media sites. So ComicMikeV.com, at Comic Mike V on Instagram and Twitter, which I'm mostly at. And also I have 2 podcasts. One, Mike Vecchione Investigates. It's my own podcast. You can get it anywhere you get podcasts for free. And the other one is called Macaroni Rascals, and it's a Patreon, but we do release the episodes. So Macaroni Rascals, look out for that. That's me and Greg Stone talking everything macaroni related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. A lot of people probably want to hear that. And I love macaroni.
Yeah.
Y'all really
That's
top
our-
everything macaroni?
That's our catchphrase.
Yeah,
The macaroni's ready.
yeah.
That's our let's go, folks.
You don't talk about macaroni.
No, we talk about Italian stuff. And,
Yeah, Italian
you know,
stuff.
how much we love our mothers.
Yeah,
How much gel we put in our hair.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Riveting, cutting edge.
yeah. And then you say, "How's the macaroni?" Which is great. Now it's
Yeah.
very funny. Now I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's very, very funny. Everybody. He's got a lot of Tonight Show clips.
Yes.
He's got. You're going to be recording stuff hopefully soon, and then Epics. You're on that. You're an unbelievable comedian, Mike.
Thank you.
We were together at the beginning at Boston Comedy Club,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you've come out with me some now, and because people are getting to, people see it, and you're, as all of us as comedians, you're everybody's favorite,
Thank you.
and you're a real lot of jokes, and that's what, and, it's very fun. You and David Tell, I would say, two guys that I would pay to go watch. Because it's like, I know it's just going to be jokes and it's going to be funny and it's going to be, I could watch you multiple shows. Because it's like, I like hearing people laugh to those.
Right.
Because it can be very silly, which is great. It's not, it's not, you're not heavy. It's just
Right.
jokes.
Right.
It's all jokes. And that's, much needed now. And so go check Mike Vecchione out, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for bringing me on the podcast and bringing me on tour. I appreciate it.
Well, I love having you out, buddy. So, all right. We will see you next week, everybody. Thanks.